This private show. Let me see you, let me see you take it on. Okay. Join my Patreon. Hey everybody. Hey, what up? Hey Catherine. Hey hussies, how are y'all doing tonight? How's everyone doing? I look a mess, so don't tell me. Hussies, how are y'all doing tonight? How's everyone doing? I look a mess, so don't tell me I look handsome. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I look an absolute fickle and a fool. Let's see. What picture we gonna use? I think this is one of the ones that doesn't, yeah, no. Sea harmed. I don't remember where I got this picture from. Yeah, there we go. Hey, Leia. Hello. Hey, Kaylin. Barbara's in the back. Baby, listen. Listen. Hey, lovely Eilish. Hello. Good Barbas was tickling me because I was like, what is the purpose of Good Barbas? What are we doing? Who is this supposed to be? Hey, Lisa. Hey. Because, baby, the way I tried to pronounce it and was swiftly reminded that I can't. Put that there. So it's on my head. Boy, take it off from me. I hope everyone's having an amazing, whatever day this is, Saturday. Quickly retracted on it. Listen, I said I'm not finna mess up this person's name. I don't know how to say it, and I'm not finna mess it up. Not in the year of our Lord 2024. I don't think so. I love this background. I do wish it had a little bit more Prudence in there, but that's okay. I think Prue is in the... Nope. Yep, she's in the bottom, of course. So, child, you know somebody's gonna be like, where's Prue? Prue should be here. You need to have more Prue. This is a great... Oh, not me having sleep in my eye. In the corner of my eye, child. That y'all finna be talking about me being like, oh, he didn't even wash his face. Anyway. I kind of want to... Because I know we got very off track as far as like our 8 day... Oh, thank you, Kaylin. Kaylin, you did not have to do that. Thank you. Thank you for becoming an elite employee. You will be sent your onboarding Ouija board, and you will be sent your onboarding packet by one of the lovely moderators. Thank you for joining the team. Thank you for coming aboard. We do have weekly lunches. You do have to provide the lunch yourself. But that's okay. You know, we do support you in that endeavor. I can only afford this month. Baby, you didn't even have to do it for this month. So I appreciate you even doing it at all. So trust me, listen, this month, next month, whatever month, that does not matter. Thank you. Thank you for wanting to do it in the first place. I appreciate you. That really does mean a lot to me. Like, you do not have to spend your hard-earned money on me, and you still chose to, so thank you. Hey, Yara. Your pizza parties as well, but you have to bring your own pizza. You absolutely do have to bring your own pizzas. You also do have to have your own party. You have to have your own party at your house, though, after hours. So, you are an elite employee. You are an elite employee. Welcome to the coven. Welcome to the fold. So y'all, with everything happening with TikTok, I think that what we're gonna do is that if you would like to if you would like to subscribe, going forward, or you would like to support me, I think I'm probably gonna ask that you go to my Patreon to do so. I know it's more convenient here on TikTok because we're already here. We have a $1 tier and a $3 tier on Patreon, so whichever one you're doing. If you are already subscribed and you would like to subscribe going forward, like for another month or however long you're able and willing, if you are a subscriber on here, I think I'm going to ask that you probably go to Patreon if you choose to redo. So, and you can subscribe to my YouTube. YouTube is free, baby. YouTube is absolutely 100% free. YouTube is free. So, anyway, but thank you, Kaylin. That was a lovely way. Hey, Yara. The message from Holly. The message from Holly was so cool, y'all. Like, I was so, thank you for loving the lives, Josh. I appreciate that. The message from, we will be going live on YouTube on Thursdays. So, so if you want to catch me there. The message from Holly was so special because, like, I had been wanting to buy a Cameo for so long. You can find my YouTube in my bio, Josh, if you're not already subscribed. The message from Holly was so, like, I had been wanting to get the Cameo for so long, and I was like, but when, you know. And I had been putting some money back from, like, the subscriptions and things like that. And I was like, this is our moment. This is when we are going to get this. We are going to, I just wanted to have something special. And it was so nice to get that message from her. And I felt bad because I was like, I don't want nobody thinking like she sent this to me specifically, but I mean, it's got the Cameo thing on there, so you know what she did. But it was just, I don't know, it just came at the right moment. So I was like, yeah, it was worth it. It was worth it. We are a growing community, and now Holly Marie Combs knows that we exist. She was like, that's why she was like, I love that you do that. And because I had put in there that we have a community. And so she's like, I love that you do that. So that made me feel, I was like, Holly knows that the power of G exists, baby. Listen, Shannon is a little up there. Shannon's is a little pricey. Rose is not doing them right now, but she should be coming back hopefully soon. And then the other lady, I think hers are a little bit more too. So, but we'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Hey, Derek. Y'all, Derek is so special and near and dear to my heart for a very specific reason that I don't know if he remembers what he shared in this chat one day, but I've never forgotten that. And that was one of the things that really sparked me to, like, feel creative. Hey, Squeaky Sister. You know, Squeaky Sister said her name for the first time on live the other day, and I forgot what it was. And I think that might have been the first time I've ever heard it. And I was like, oh, that's her name. And you know how you can be friends with someone and, like, be so cool with them and not know their name? And I realized one day, like, I love Squeaky Sister. You know how you just take to someone and someone's spirit just, like, entrances you? Like, that's how I feel with her. I just felt like we need to, like, bring her into the fold, and we need to prop her up as much as we possibly can. And I realized the other day I do not know this woman's name. I was like, baby, we done encouraged, been there for each other, everything else. And I don't know this woman's name. When I tell you fake friend, I am a fake friend. I'm the fakest you will ever encounter in your life. Just fake, fake, fakeity, fake, fake, fake. Like, girl, don't have your number. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. That's for me to know and you to never find out. I will never tell you whether I do or whether I don't. It could be 15 years from now and you'll be like, do you have my number saved? And I'll be like, I'm not telling you that. That's not your business. That doesn't have anything to do with you. Your life will not be enriched by knowing whether I have your number saved. So, gaslighting. Who am I gaslighting? Hey, Tez. Or Tez. Tezzy Tez. That means no, listen. My mama's lucky I got her numbers. Let me stop. Yes, of course I have you saved. Yes, of course. That the House of Hellowood podcast is coming soon. I haven't heard it. I've been wondering where it was, but we may do like a little deep dive or something on the episodes or do like a little discussion. Excuse me. Don't hold me to that because I can't say for sure we're going to do it, but it would be nice to. But yeah, if you want to go join my Patreon, please do so. I implore you to do so if you so choose and are available. Able to do so. Are there any other housekeeping rules, housekeeping things that we need to discuss? Hey, Makeup Ideas, thank you, Leia. Are there any more housekeeping rules? No, let's just be respectful of each other. I wanted to get back to our season by season discussion. Because we said we were going to do a season by season discussion. We did say that. And by we, I do mean me. Your boy got off kilter. Your boy got very distracted. Your boy was going through some things and completely forgot. Are we going to go back to it tonight? Maybe. You know what? No. Yes. He don't know my name, but I love him. I mean, purr. It's just the truth. So, listen. Okay. Been waiting for you to pick back up on them. We done left season 5 in the dust. Catherine. Don't be messy. Okay, so here's what we're going to do for a little bit. Before we get to season 5. This is going to be like our pre-season 5 episode. Not me not knowing. So, what we're going to do is baby, you want to do my nails? What you trying to say? Why? But anywho, I think what we're gonna do is, because we're gonna discuss season 5 at a different, at some point. Maybe tonight. We may do it tonight. We may discuss season 5 tonight. That may be what happens. We're gonna kind of see. I don't know what's been making my energy level feel a little low, and so I want to be at like 100%. But I don't know when that's gonna happen. So it's given we're just gonna have to push through. It is given very much like we're just gonna have to make it happen. So we're just gonna go ahead and recap. We're just gonna go ahead and recap seasons 1 through 4. We're just gonna do a little recap of seasons 1 through 4. In preparation for season 5, because in preparation, I think we all need to be on the same page as far as what has transpired in the first 4 seasons. So, okay. Okay, so because season 5 is such a departure. Season 5 is such a departure from sort of the main storyline of the show. I think season 5 is where there is not a storyline anymore necessarily. Like, we have storylines, but we no longer have like the woo anymore, you know. So I think it is important before we go into season 5 to talk about the first 4 seasons. So, you know, season 1, the girls find out about their powers. Season 1, the girls find out about their powers. Oh God, it's giving fraud. It's giving liar. It's really, really giving liar. I really feel like right now I am giving you liar. I am giving you very much, I don't know what I'm talking about, and I don't want y'all to know that I don't know. So we just gonna work our way through this together. Oh my God. Okay. All right. Okay. It's funny because like I'm trying to come up with like how do you recap the first 4 seasons as I'm talking. I don't know. Like imagine being like, yeah, in season 1 they get their powers. Okay. Y'all, I don't know why that tickled me so much. I needed that laugh, I think, because I don't know why that tickled me so bad, but that really did tickle me. That really tickled me because I am lying. I am up here lying to the people. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's be for real. There is no topic. At this point, there is no topic. Okay. Let's be serious. Let's be for real. Everybody, for a second, let's be for real. Okay, are y'all ready? Okay. So, I think one of the important things to really, and I do want to bring this point up because I think this is a very, very big point. A very important point going into season 5. I really do think this. To me, it's interesting that the kind of like theme of season 1 and season 4 was sort of rebuilding the family and connecting. So in the case of season 1, it's reconnecting. And then in the case of season 4, it's connecting. So, you know, in season 1, we're really watching them come together as sisters because they've been separate sort of like as a unit for so long. And now they're actually having to learn to work together. They're having to learn how to work in unison, fully trust each other, rely on each other. And I think that's why season 2 works so well, is because they do trust each other. Like, yeah, they have their little spats, they have their little back and forth. Prue unalives half of San Francisco, but they've reconnected as sisters and they're now a unit, whereas they weren't before. Oh, Dominic is here, y'all. Whereas they weren't before. And so season 5 being the follow-up to season 4 is I think in the same way that season 2 is such a solid season because we're seeing them reconnect as sisters but still be in the middle of like learning what it means to be witches, learning what it means to be the charmed ones. They're learning these huge life lessons as they go into this new area of life. Season 5 sort of reflects that a little bit, where they are learning, they're having to go through a whole new area of life. They're having to go through new experiences because this is the first time since they became witches that the source is not a factor. The source is not a threat. This is the first time that even though demons are attacking them, they've kind of gone back to, random demons coming after them, because there's no longer an organized underworld like it was when they first became witches. So at this point, there's no more Triad, there's no more Balthazar, there's no more Shax. There's, the big threats, so to speak, from like the first couple of seasons are gone. So going into season 5, I think that's why season 5 feels like such a reset of the show, because it truly is. Season 5 is actually a reset of the show. Season 5 gives us an opportunity to really, I think, see what they do with magic without having to constantly feel like something is after them. You know what I mean? Like, I know I'm talking a lot, but I'm really trying to hey everybody that's in here that's joining. I'm really trying to drive home the point that season 5 feels so different because season 5 was different. Piper is pregnant. Piper is about to give birth on their dining room table, and Paige is sort of going through this identity crisis. And I know a lot of people, I've seen people say like, oh, Paige needs to let go, trying to compare herself to Prue and things, like that. But the thing is, like, no. See, in season 4, like I've used this phrase a bunch of times, they didn't have time in season 4 to truly stop and just be like, girl, Prue is super witch, I'm not. Like, season 4, we had to get ready. Because we got the source, we got Cole and the source. Like there's always a threat. There's always something around the corner. We're in season 5. I think that's why we start to explore a little bit more about them and what they're going through. So you get episodes like San Francisco Dreaming, which is not their strongest episode in the world when you just watch it. But I think San Francisco Dreaming is a very important episode. Not just because we get to see into their psyche, and see kind of like what they're going through, but I think that really helps in character development for them. Because especially Paige's part. Paige's part is probably my favorite of that episode, just because she... Not I said we weren't going into season 5 and we just talking about season 5. Okay. Girl. Now I can't make my mind up and I'm just up here talking, and that's what happens when you just make stuff up. Let me change the background picture, child, because if we gonna go on ahead and we're gonna talk about the people, let's go on ahead and talk about the people. Baby, I told y'all I was lying. I told y'all I was low-key lying. Thank you for the heart puff. But yeah, Paige being at this point where she's trying to overdo celebrating this child because she didn't get that when she was a baby. Baby, that's huge. That is some like next level development. Yeah, it may have been executed a little clunky. It may have been a little with the way it came, the way they did it. It was a little literal, but I think, thank you, Blaze. But I think it still needed to happen because up to this point, we really didn't know how Paige felt about being adopted. Excuse me. We knew that she loved her parents. We knew that she probably wouldn't have traded that life, for anything, but we didn't know how she as a person felt. And so seeing her really deal with that and how she's choosing to go about it, especially because this baby is half white light or half witch. So that adds a whole other layer to this, because she literally had to be secreted away because she was the same thing. And so now this child has that. It has that same, lineage as her. And she's like, no, we need to celebrate this. This is a union. And hearing her be like, I didn't get a chance to be celebrated. Baby, when she went and picked that baby up, I cry every single time. I cry every single time. That is so sad to me. And not sad in like a, oh, poor Paige way, but sad in like that she feels that and she hasn't been able to express it. That is what moves me so much about Paige in this season, is I think she's trying to prove herself while also trying to find herself. So you look at an episode like Centennial Charm. You know, we talk about that episode all the time, right? I think that what she doesn't ever really express, and that I don't think anybody else expresses, but the show tells us, but it just doesn't have the character say it, is Paige really was the glue that kept them together after Prue went to the lower room. Like, after Prue went down there to burn forever, Paige really was what brought them from the brink. Like, her, hey Lilu, her being there is what helped Piper to accept that Prue had gone to the lower room, was what helped them to reestablish themselves as a magical force. And I think the episode really shows us that, but they never say it. And that's what always makes me upset about Charm, because you don't have to say every single thing, right? Not every single thing has to be stated directly. Some stuff, it is okay for it to be hinted at. And this is an example where I think they had already said it, because Piper had already said, I think it was in Sam I Am, where she was like, you know, Paige is the reason that I am standing here today. And and I think Centennial Charm kind of backs that up. I wish that in the moment Paige had realized that, because Piper realized it because Piper said it. But Paige, I don't think, gets that moment where she gets to say, this is, hey Joey, it has been a minute. In the clouds. Girl, if Prue was in the clouds, we all going to the clouds. But Paige needed that moment, I think. She needed to hear that, and she didn't get a chance to hear it then. Hey, Chastity. She didn't get a chance to hear it then from Piper, and I think that it would have been really important. But then, as I'm talking about this, I feel like she did realize it. I feel like maybe this show just didn't have her verbalize it. And let me tell y'all why I'm saying that as I'm talking. Because I'm thinking about the fact that, like, Piper was like, we must be pretty close. Weren't we close like we were with Prue? And like, Paige could have said anything, or she could have let her insecurity show. She could have let her inferiority complex come through. She could have said a litany of things. And she still chose to say, we were close enough to avenge her. And I think that line really shows the understanding that she has of Piper. Because she could have said anything to be like, well, I don't think we'll ever be as close as you guys were, or something like that. But I think that her choosing to say we were close enough to avenge Prue let Piper know, okay, this girl is on our side. This girl is on my side. She's on Prue's side. Because I think it was significant for Piper to see that Paige wanted to avenge Prue. So there's a lot of, I think, Paige kind of applying the understanding that she had of them. And I wish that sometimes the show hadn't been so clunky with sort of the way Phoebe and Piper approached Paige, and, you know, her being there. Hey, Jericho. Because the thing about that is, we've talked about this before. Paige has never had siblings. She has always been an only child. And I think that may be a big part of why Piper and Phoebe kind of don't go out of their way to show her that they're her sisters and that she's their sister, is because they're used to that dynamic. if that makes any sense. Like, they're used to just being sisters. There's never been a need for them to, like, they may try to prove, like, oh, I'm trying to prove to my big sister I'm reliable or whatever, but they've never tried to, like, prove to each other that I'm your sister. It's just been more of, I'm trying to prove myself as a person to you, where Paige does not feel that connection necessarily, because that's not something she's ever had. So I think that's why she's constantly trying to prove herself as a sister, is because she's like, see, I can be a sister too. I know how to be a sister. Whereas in like Phoebe and Piper's head, it's like, girl, okay, we got sisters, whatever. Like girl, we're sisters, calm down. You know, it's not a big deal to them because that's been their reality. I've never thought about that before until this very moment. I have never thought about that before. That's very interesting to think about. That's what I mean. Like, their dynamic gets a chance to be explored. And I saw something about like Piper being forced to choose between Paige and Phoebe. Baby. I've talked about this before. The trust that Piper Leanne Halliwell had in Paige LaTanya Matthews to put Phoebe's life in her hands, next level. Because the thing is, we've talked before, Phoebe is the most precious thing. Phoebe is the most precious thing to Piper. Yeah, until probably Wyatt. Like, you know, Wyatt has that special place in her heart because that's her son. And of course she loves him, and, you know, fiercely. Her concubine that she's married to, you know, I mean, he's there, I guess. Low-key, she could go get a rose and he'd be obsolete, but, you know, whatever. And then Chris is a person that exists. And so it's like, LL Cool Guy, friend, you ain't been in here in a minute. Friend, I feel like you've been avoiding me, and I don't know why, but I feel like you've been avoiding me. I can't figure out why, but I feel like you've been avoiding me. I feel like you hate me. Anyway, so, oh baby, we love calling people out over this way. I love calling people out. But yeah, Christopher is, y'all know I love Chris. Y'all know that Christopher is, oh yeah, with the new job. How was the new job going? But y'all know I love Christopher down. Piper wasn't checking for Chris like that. Chris was an afterthought, low-key. Not saying she didn't love him. Please do not say I'm saying she didn't love. Of course she loved her child. I'm just saying, like, in the hierarchy. It was not like Chris Wiley. It was, you know, Chris had his place in the hierarchy, and we just leave it at that. Chris had a place, and we leave it at that. But no, Phoebe in this hierarchy is at the top. And I think that it makes sense for Phoebe to be so high. If not, I would say that Phoebe was at the top until Wyatt was born, and then it was kind of like Phoebe and Wyatt. Excuse me. Paige said that Chris probably reminded her of Prue. We're gonna come back to that. But I think the reason that Phoebe is at the top of the list for Piper in my mind is Phoebe was that last little piece of normalcy. Phoebe was that last little piece of her life before Magic that she had left. Grams had stumbled down the stairs, right? Prue got thrown by that fan, right? And Andy was gone, and they grew up with Andy. Like, everything from when Piper was little was completely different. Nothing, there was no part of her life, essentially, that was the same except for the house. Like, the house was the only thing in Piper's life that was consistent. That's it. Everything else had changed, except Phoebe. Phoebe was the last little piece. Phoebe was the last person she grew up with that was there with her. Phoebe was that last piece of, thank you, Jeffrey. Thank you. Aww. But you know, that's why I think Phoebe was so high on that list. And that's why I say, like, for her to have trusted that Paige would remember that spell and be like, I knew Paige would remember the spell. That meant a lot. That meant a lot to her. the fact that or should have meant a lot to us as the viewers. Like the fact that Piper trusted Paige and her abilities enough to put Phoebe's life in her hands. Baby, that's huge. So no, they might not have been whatever that people wanted them to be, but I think Piper had an innate trust and respect for Paige. Like as a sister, as a person, as a witch. Like, yeah, they butted heads. Yeah, they argued. Yeah, they whatever. But I think that was normal sister stuff, if that makes any sense. I have to stop saying if that makes any sense, because I don't say that. Like, I don't think the other people are going to comprehend it. I say that because I think that what I said was stupid. And I really think sometimes I be thinking like I sound so dumb, and I'm like, God, I hope that made sense, and I hope people can like grasp it, because that was the dumbest thing that's ever been said. Anyway, but yeah, so that's what I mean when I say like season 5 is the application of things that they haven't had an opportunity to do. And that's why I think Sympathy for the Demon is a favorite of mine, and just in general. I mean, any Barbas episode is going to tend to be a favorite, but I do think Sympathy for the Demon is really important, because, you know, we all get that line that we make fun of, and we whatever else, you know, you can do it, Prune did it. And then Barbara saying, aye, but there's the rub. You're no Prue, are you? You know, we all make, you know, we made our little jokes about that part and whatever. But that's another one of those moments where Piper maybe could have handled it a little differently. But I don't think that I don't think it was shade in the way some people try to make it. I think genuinely when she told her, you can do it, Prue did it. I think that was her saying, you are capable of doing what Prue did. Like, it wasn't like, oh, well, Prue did it, so you should be able to do it. No, she was saying like, no, you're capable, just like Prue was. You got to believe in yourself, baby, because we believe in you. You know, she's like, baby, we believe in you. We need you to believe in you. And what I love about this season for Piper, thank you, Xavion. What I love about this season for Piper, is I think moments like that are where we kind of get this Piper who's abrasive, but I think it's because she knew what needed to be said. Like, I think she could have been like, Paige, sweetie, you just have to believe in yourself. She could have done that, but no, she was like, baby, I need you to focus. Oh, not TARDIS. Wait a minute. Oh, thank you, TARDIS. Oh my God, TARDIS is bringing. Oh. Not TARDIS bringing people into the fold, bringing people into the. TARDIS. Thank you for onboarding some new elite employees. Thank you for bringing on some new elite employees. Their Ouija board onboarding packets. Ash said, what just happened? So what just happened is TARDIS, who is one of our TikTok live subscribers, just bought 5 subscriptions to send to random people in the chat. And so with the subscriptions, that means that you get access to our GroupMe group chat. It means that you get access to our bi-weekly Zoom where we watch Charmed and other things. You get a chance to come into the coven. Like, baby, you get a sub and you get a sub per. Like you have been made elite employees. None of us being Herbalife. Nothing is being a pyramid scheme. Power of G, the MLM of the future. The MLM of the future, babies. But no, welcome to the fold. Oh my God. Nah, I wasn't there. Said, whoever you are, thank you. But That was so sweet, Tardis. Thank you, baby. I ain't got the money to match you this time. Usually, you know I would have, but your boy's a little tapped out this go round. But no, thank you. Please, I hope you enjoy the group me because, baby, the group me be lit. We be cutting up in the group me, child. And we're doing a lot of, like, restructuring some things. So it's gonna be so fun. And then my sister knows how to make stickers. So, y'all, we're gonna make stickers first just to kind of feel things out, and then go from there. And then I need someone to help me, like, make a background or something. I don't know, child. But anyway, thank you, Tardis. Thank you. Oh my God. Baby. LL Cool Gay said, I would love a sticker. Join the Patreon. Or you can subscribe to the live. It's up to you. I would prefer you do the Patreon, because we are trying to move our platform over to the Patreon a little bit more. So if you'd like to do that, then please. There's a $3 tier. Not me telling this man that I had been friends with forever. Like, yeah. Once you go ahead and subscribe. Y'all, me and Jeffrey been friends forever, and I'm just like, yeah, go ahead and subscribe. That way we can be real friends. Wait a minute. Okay, y'all, I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm so tickled tonight. This is tickling me, but thank you, Jeffrey. You do not have to if you don't want to, but I appreciate you. Why am I saying his name like that? Because there was one time in the chat, he said his name and he put like R-E-Y. And so now the way I say it is the way I saw it. And I'm like, Jeffrey. Oh, Lord Jesus. It is so funny. But thank you, Tardis. And then we hit a goal for tonight. Baby, the community said we're going to pour into each other. We're going to pour into each other. And I live. I wish I had the money to pour into it. If I did, then trust me, I'd pour into it myself. But per. Maybe I do have some money. Let's see. I got so weak in the knees. Let's see. Girl. Not me finna get my feelings hurt. Okay, wait. Okay. Let's see. Okay, well, I don't know how to do. I can't even do what I'm trying to do. Okay, never mind. All right, it didn't even pop up. Your cameo from Holly. Yes. Don't feel the need to match if you can't. I can't. But one day. The cameo was sweet. The cameo was so sweet. It was so adorable. And I love the fact that Holly was in her, are we talking about the ridiculous random moments of charm? Not tonight, but one day. I love the fact that she was just in her hotel room. She was like, baby, listen. It made it feel more heartfelt because it felt like she was like, girl, I'm tired. I'm ready to go to sleep. So it felt like she was just talking as opposed to being like, this is the script I had. So I appreciated it. But so back to Sympathy for the Demon though. And thank you again, Tardis. It did feel genuine. It actually felt very genuine. Like it was actually from the heart. Like, yeah, she was getting paid to do it, but it felt like she was talking from the heart as opposed to like from a script. So I loved it. And if you don't know what we're talking about, please check out the video on my page. You know, feel free to go up and down my page. You know you want to. Baby, talking to a friend for a price. She said, listen, we can be cool when you give me that $100. But no, Sympathy for the Demon, I think Sympathy for the Demon does a good job of letting us know that the show doesn't just forget about things, if that makes any sense. Phoebe especially, I think, is a big part of that. Because even, here's the thing. They even touch on hers. You know how, like, earlier in the episode, they kind of throw, like, little random stupid stuff at them that doesn't really matter. So it's like, Paige is claustrophobic and, you know, Piper's scared of spiders and whatever else. So it's like little stuff. And then we get hit with the big stuff later on. Phoebe does not get hit with anything little. We get hit with something that we think is sort of surface level, right? So you get Miles coming in saying, Phoebe, I'm a demon. And then she like punches them in the face and she moves on and she's like, okay, everybody, we need to get rid of our fears. And so they kind of move on past it. Like it's not really that big of a deal. And then later on in the episode, we go a little bit deeper into it. It's not that Phoebe is worried that he's a demon. It's that she's worried that she's evil. And that she is the reason that this demon is going to come to her. Like, it's not about Miles being a demon in her mind. It's about the fact that she's evil and would attract another demon. And for a character like Phoebe to have to face that after season 4, that's a lot. That's heavy. That's heavy. That is very heavy. And their conversation in that episode sort of mirrors season 1, where Piper was looking through the book and she's like, you know, have you looked in here? What if we're just like these demons? What if our powers are evil? And then Phoebe's like, you know, you're the sweetest person I've ever known. If anyone's going to be evil, it's me. And it's like they laugh it off and it's sweet and it's cute and it's fun and it's a ha 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 moment because Phoebe's the wild child. And then 4 seasons later, we're sitting in this very spot having the same conversation from a different perspective. Phoebe has been the queen of the underworld and she is now sitting here saying that her greatest fear is that she's evil. And Piper is the one having to talk her through it and saying, I've known you your entire life. Girl. The callback in that moment is one thing, but Phoebe acknowledging out loud, it's not fun anymore. You know what I mean? Like it's not fun anymore. It used to be like, well, I was born on the Nexus, so I could go either way. Well, we all know if anyone's gonna turn evil, it's gonna be me. Well, I mean, I want to be good, but I also want to be a little bad every now and again. You know, and it's a big joke. It's always funny. It's always the punchline. It's always, you know, hey Neptune. It's always Phoebe being, you know, the bad girl, you know, whatever, is like, ha 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 ha. But it's not funny anymore because Phoebe has actually given in to that side of herself. Phoebe has actually gone into that part of herself that is evil. She has tapped into that and she's scared that this is who she is. Because we already saw in season 2, in Pardon My Past, that she's scared that that's the person she is. And so that's one thing. But then for it to now happen in her current life, it terrifies her that she truly is just an evil being at like her core. Like at the minimum of who Phoebe is evil in her mind. And I don't know. That is such a big thing to realize about that. And I think that's another reason why she avoids Cole so much, is genuinely, I think Cole represents that part of herself. And, you know, we talk a lot about how like Phoebe kind of turned on a dime and just like hated this man after all the years that she gave to him. But in talking about this now, I mean, it makes sense. Cole is the person who represents her giving in to that part of herself. I feel like the baby influenced a lot of that. I feel like the baby did, but I feel like the baby amped up Phoebe's emotions, if that makes any sense. As opposed to like manipulated her into choosing Cole. I don't think that the baby manipulated her. I think that the baby influenced her to follow her mind. And I think that's what Phoebe deals with and struggles with, is saying that the baby made her do it would be one thing, but I don't think he made her do it. I think he just opened her up to do what she wanted to do. Because we know the inner workings of our mind. You know what I mean? Like, I could sit here and I could tell you right now that I'm upset about something that happened, but I know why I'm actually upset about it. I know why it actually truly upset me, but I'm not going to tell you that. So I think that's what Phoebe was dealing with when she says, you know, her greatest fear is that she's evil, is not necessarily, oh, I'm evil because the baby made me evil. I am evil because the baby made me do the things that I wanted to do. And I think that's why she felt guilty. And I think that's why she hated Cole, was this evil part of her that made her give in to those evil sensations and urges and whatever else. And then the thing about it is too, it's an invisible baby. Am I gonna step on it? Hey, Ethan. Yeah, I don't know why they said that about the potions, child. I don't know why they said that about the potions they use on the source. That was just them trying to be cute. That was them trying to make us revisit their child. But I don't remember what I was saying. Paige, I was talking about the baby. I think Phoebe being evil. Yeah, I think Phoebe just hated that, like, part of herself that Cole represented. So I think that's why she really dives into work, because Phoebe ain't never had no job. Hey, Mia. Hello, my love. Phoebe ain't never had no job before. Phoebe ain't never done put herself in no job like that ever a day in her life. And I think that's why she did it, is because she focused on building this other part of her career, this other part of this new life, because, you know, I mean, her baby is gone. She's no longer married to Cole. She doesn't have that to focus on anymore, and she thought that that's what she was gonna, you know, who she was gonna be. And she doesn't have that, and she's like, okay, I still have this job. And I think that's why she threw herself into it, to the point where her power stopped working, because mama needed something to focus on, quiet as it's kept. And that is one thing I will say that I think they missed an opportunity to play into and talk about a little bit more, is about how, like, that with the baby and with Cole affected really her ability to cope. Because, you know, we've said it before, and I stand by this 100%. Phoebe's baby was supposed to be born at the same time as Wyatt. And people can tell me all day long that that wasn't Phoebe's baby. And even if that is the case, that was not Phoebe's baby biologically, that's good, that's great, that's fine. Phoebe had walked into the idea of being a mother. And if you're going to tell me that my sister is going to have her baby at the same time that my baby was supposed to be born, baby, no, ma'am. I wouldn't have a place for that in my head. And I don't think that Phoebe had a place for that in her head. Which is why I think and I remember we said that one night, and somebody was like, she was never obsessed with Wyatt. Baby, she tried to take off her job. Mama was trying to take leave from her job to come take care of this baby that was not hers. Like, Phoebe was trying to name this child that is not hers. She wanted them to wait to name the baby until she got home. That's obsession. She's giving very much, this is what I was supposed to be doing right now with my baby. I'm supposed to be out on leave with my baby. I'm supposed to be naming my baby. I am supposed to be introducing my baby to people and showing pictures of my baby to my coworkers. And instead, I'm doing that with my nephew. So I'm not saying that she never loved loved Wyatt, right? Like, I'm not saying that like that as an aunt that was inappropriate, because when I become an uncle, that's probably gonna be the same thing I do. But I'm also saying that that's because I'm a drama-filled person. And yes, Phoebe is drama-filled, but Phoebe also was supposed to be preparing those things for herself in that moment. And I wish season 5 had done a better job at like having her realize that. Maybe not even express it, but realize it. Like, I could see a quick little scene where she's sitting in Wyatt's room, nursery, whatever, in the bathroom, wherever they had him. Cause then they put him like in the sink or something. But anyway, I could see her sitting there looking at his baby blanket and just like staring at it. And Phoebe, and then like Paige walks in and be like, "Girl, are you okay?" Paige just walks in and be like, "Are you alright?" And then Phoebe is just kind of like, "This is when my baby was supposed to be born." And they just kind of have like this moment. And they just kind of stand there and look at each other. Because Paige doesn't really know what to say. Because she's never thought about it like that. And she thought that they had moved on from that era. And Phoebe doesn't really know what to say because she doesn't actually have like the words. And then Paige just hugs Phoebe. And maybe Phoebe starts crying. Something like that. Like, give me something like that. It doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be earth-shattering. And it's the only scene in the episode. You know, whatever. But I think a moment like that would have been meaningful. Especially in this season. Especially in this season where I feel like their connections to each other are highlighted. Because between, you know, Piper trusting Paige to bring Phoebe back, between us getting Centennial charmed and seeing what their lives would have been like without Paige, and just all these different little moments, I think a moment like that would have fit in perfectly. Just a little moment of them bonding. Nothing big, nothing major. As far as like seeing, like, I don't need someone breaking down. I don't need someone to fall on the floor crying, because I don't think that was Phoebe anyway. Phoebe wasn't the one that was going to have the breakdown. That was going to be Piper. And maybe Paige, depending on the person in the day. But that would have been a good Phoebe-Paige bonding moment. And then I think it would have made sense why maybe Phoebe would sort of cling to Paige a little bit more than she would Piper. Because I think... Excuse me. Piper understood Phoebe because she grew up with her. But I think that Paige understood Phoebe as a person. So it was like, Piper knew Phoebe as a sister. And so she would be like, "Oh, I know my sister. I know how my sister is. My sister is like this. My sister is like da-da-da-da." Whereas Paige was like, "Well, yeah, you're my sister, but you're also going through this. Like, yeah, I'm protective of you because you're my sister, but also I understand that you are a person who has experienced X, Y, and Z." And so she was able to kind of like, I don't think she disassociated from them, but I think that she was kind of able to have that step back moment and see them as people, because that's how she met them. She met them as people, and she didn't grow up with them. So she doesn't have that reference point of being like, "Oh, I remember when we were little and Phoebe would stub her toe and she would run through the house screaming. Oh, she ran through the house naked, you know, because there was an earthquake. Oh, she did this and that." Like, she doesn't have those stories with them. So I think that it's easier for her to say, "I think that Piper is hurting because." I think that Phoebe is hurting because. And I think that's why it kind of misfires sometimes. And she got it wrong that Phoebe, you know, hated Cole. She thought Phoebe hated him. You know, but then she realized, like, no, Phoebe is actually in love with this man still. And that's what she's running from. You know, she was able to put that together. And she tried to help Piper with her memory, and her spell just counteracted with Piper's concubine spell. But she was genuinely trying to help Piper in that moment. Little things like that. She wanted to get rid of Cole for Phoebe. She wanted to give Phoebe this not magic free, but this Cole free life, because I think that she understood Cole was that last link to Phoebe's unhappiness, because that's what was putting Phoebe back in that place. She had an understanding, like, okay, my girl is going through right now because she's being reminded. Because here's another thing about Cole. Love my Cole down. Love my Cole to death. For the most part. Phoebe had a constant reminder of one of the worst parts of her life. Just walking around town. Just walking around. Coming to the house. Calling her. If they had phones that could text back then, texting her. Just on his Nokia, asking her what she's doing during the day. And when I say the worst time of her life, by Ash, losing Prue, choosing evil, losing her child, having to unalive her husband, this man that she put so much of herself into. All of that happened, but it was a pita. Pita? What is that? Like pita bread? So it's like, even though it may not be right for Phoebe to associate all those things with Cole, I think that that's what it, and we know Phoebe loves to disassociate. We know that. We know Phoebe loves to do a good little runaway. We know Phoebe likes to just move on past stuff, pretend like it's not there. So I think it makes sense that Phoebe wanted that part of her life gone. I think that makes sense. Oh, like T9? Y'all had T9 back then? Hey, Baron. I think that Phoebe wanted that part of her life to be over. And she couldn't have it be over as long as Cole is just walking around. That wasn't going to happen. That's why season 5 is so interesting, especially after Wyatt is born, because you see them. It makes me sad that Cole never got an actual redemption arc. I don't think Cole ever actually was redeemed in a meaningful, long-lasting way, because he's Balthazar. He spends most of the time trying to unalive them. And then by the end of season 3, he's working with the Charmed Ones, but then he's put under the spell. And then, beginning of season 4, he's working. Oh, child, I thought the phone was going to die, Lord. Okay. But, it's like you get those kind of, you think about that kind of stuff. And then he goes from being Balthazar to being human right back to being the source. So it's like, even though you can't blame the source, on him, he never gets a chance to just be Cole. We don't know what Cole is because he's always something. He's Balthazar. He's under a spell. He's the source. He's got all these demonic powers that he doesn't know what to do with. Because he was down in demonic wasteland trying to get enough power to get back to Phoebe. So it's like, we don't ever get a chance, excuse me, except for that very brief little window when he's human. We don't ever get a chance to sit with Cole. We don't ever get a chance to see what Cole can actually be if he is not a demon or has some sort of proximity to evil. We don't get that opportunity. And that's why I say he didn't get a redemption arc. In season 5, I think that's why they don't know what to do with him. Because he's a constant reminder for Phoebe of this horrible part of her life. But then I don't think they knew what to do with him because Cole didn't fit in the story anymore. Which was kind of a reflection, I think, of really Cole as a character. A character like Cole was not meant to last long term. He was not. Am I saying that they couldn't have made him last long term? No. I am saying that I don't think that he was meant to be there for like 8, 9, 10 years. Like that wasn't the character Cole was going to be. And so I think by season 5, when they're moving into this space, because here's the other thing to remember about Cole. Cole is still tied to the source. He's still tied to this source storyline. He's still tied to like Prue going to the lower room. He's still tied to all of that from the previous 4 seasons. He is the last link that we have to that overarching, girl, not me being stupid. Y'all, please don't laugh at me. I'm smart. I went to school, I promise. I can never remember how to say that word. Hey, Prince J. Y'all, my man is here. I gotta go because my man is here. My man is in the chat, y'all. Anyway, let me stop. Even though he don't be responding to me. He does not ever respond to my DMs. But that's okay. I'm not gonna put him on blast in front of everybody. I'm not gonna do that because that would be wrong. But let me stop. Let me stop. But no, what was I trying to say? So Cole is the last little piece of the story, and I think that's why he doesn't fit. I think that's why he doesn't fit in the story, is because they've moved forward now. Like, they've moved to a new area of life. They've moved to becoming, Piper becoming a mother, Phoebe exploring this career, Paige trying to find herself. Like, the source and everything that came with it is gone. And I think Cole, they didn't know how to translate Cole to like a post source storyline, because he just didn't. Baby, now we cutting over the gifts tonight. Prince Javion. Prince J, thank you. Thank you for the roses. I appreciate them. It's very much appreciated. You are an elite employee with benefits. But no, that's the thing about Cole. And I know we talk about how wrong they did him in season 5, but he just didn't fit in the story anymore. I mean, truly, there was no place for him. Even if they had made him become human and he, could stay, I don't know. In the same way that Piper's concubine became human and we were just like, oh, Piper got her happy ending. The thing about somebody like Cole is, I don't think was ever just gonna step back and let Phoebe be, like he was always going to try to protect her. And I think that was always going to put him in some kind of proximity to magic, to dark magic potentially. Because the thing about Lily is, Lily didn't care about protecting nobody. I'll take the kids upstairs if you want me to, because the demon is attacking. Yeah, I'll jump in front of them. That's fine. But if you think that I'm finna go hunt down some magic and do all of this, child, Lily wasn't finna do that. Lily was not finna do that. Whereas Cole loved Phoebe so deeply that he genuinely would have moved heaven and hell to save her. If it took, hey, Makeup Ideas, hey, Jonathan, I'm doing good. Why he ain't show up in the group meet? Girl, I told you he don't be responding to me. You thought it was He does not respond to me. Prince J does not respond to me. Baby, he be in here cutting up and don't ever say nothing to me. I be feeling so played. I said, let me just sit here and look stupid, y'all, because let me just sit here and look stupid, because, but that's okay, I guess. I guess it is what it is. What's with the Leo hate? He was born. He deserves it. I can't. Like, Leo was born. Money the Maker. Professional doodler. Ooh, that is a beautiful picture too. I love that. Is this from Charmed or Jawbreaker? Yes. And so I can't I just can't with Lily. And I don't even remember what I was talking about. Yeah, Cole. Cole would have done whatever it took to save Phoebe. Do I need to jump in front of... Not not the stewardess from Fifth Element. Shut up, man. Shut up. Let me follow you. Let me follow you. But if it meant like Cole, baby, if it means I'm gonna jump into you're not worth it, well baby, I'm not ready to follow you. I'm not worth it either, but here we are. We're just gonna have to not be worth it together. But no, Cole, you telling me I gotta jump in front of a fireball and take on the Source's powers to save Phoebe? Sure will. You telling me that I gotta be down here in the demonic wasteland and steal all the powers I possibly can so that I can get back to her? Sure will. You telling me that I gotta use avatar powers to completely rewrite the timeline of events and whatever else so I can get back with her? Sure will. What did Lily do? What did Lily do? He told his wife, girl, you love me so much, this was the highest I could have gone. Lily said, listen, it has been great. Thank you. I know you gave me a son. I appreciate it. Don't look for a Christmas card because I'm not going to send you one. In the same season that Cole was literally doing whatever he could to get back to Phoebe, Lily and Piper in counseling, in marriage counseling. Oh. Oh. Lily done abandoned his wife and child. Oh. In the same season where Cole has completely rewritten history trying to get back with Phoebe. The two are not the same. They're toxic in different ways. I don't know that I would want either one of those loves. Because the thing about Cole is Cole came in lying to Phoebe, lying to her about becoming Balthazar. About being Balthazar. And so it's like, that's why I can never really get behind him, because like you came in lying to this woman. But whatever. But my thing is within that, look at what he was willing to do to get this woman back. Now, should he have gotten her back? No, because you're literally manipulating events. You're literally trying to manipulate events to force her with you. And so I can't get behind that. And at the same time, in the same season, Lily is leaving his wife. Okay. Piper said, you wanted a family and I gave you a son. And he said, yeah, you did. And you did great. He turned into Tony the Tiger. He said, you're great. Like he said, He said, honey, that is amazing. He said, that is so amazing that you did that. But like I said, I gotta go. There will not be any child support checks. Mind you, earlier in this same season, Lily was the one who gaslit Piper into being scared to become a mother in the first place. To where mama had to write a spell in chalk to take the fear out of herself. He was the one who did that to her at the beginning of the season. And then at the end of the season, he's like, girl, it's been great. At the end of the same season, he was like, sorry to this woman. I'll see you later. Girl, Lily makes me sick. Then the character of Lily makes me sick. The character of Lily makes me sick. And excuse me, it just, oh God. Season 5 is not maybe like the huge. And then remember in the same season, Lily is when they were trying to save the elder, and I can't remember his name. The one who, like, his power was supposed to be transferred. I can't remember his name. And he was like, I'll let you know anything you want to know. And he was like, will our baby be healthy? And he was like, very healthy and more powerful than you can imagine. And I feel like, Ramos, I feel like when Lily heard that, that's when he was like, okay, I'm good. When Lily heard that, he was like, no, I'm good. He said, He said, that ain't got nothing to do with me. He said, baby, listen. As soon as he heard that baby was going to be powerful, he said, As soon as he heard powerful, more powerful than you could imagine, he said, nope. He started plotting right then and there. I feel like he started putting in his job applications with the elders. And he was like, can y'all put me, at the top of the list? Something like that. I'm trying to get a promotion. They were like, yeah, sure. And then when the Titans came and did what they needed to do and started to actually slaughter and started taking them out the way that they should have, that they were very justified in doing, Lily was like, okay, my name is at the top of the list now. He gave himself a promotion. But made it seem like he didn't. He's like, they've asked me to help, like, reform the elders or whatever else. And and then has the nerve, the gall, and the audacity to go down there to Chris and be like, you better treat them right, because I'll be watching. You know what would be better, Lily? Do you want to know what would be better? Is if you were there. Don't tell me, I'll be watching. I don't care. You should be down there with your little abomination that was just born, and Piper just spit out her placenta onto the dining room table. And now there's little pieces of fecal matter and everything else in the dining room table, because when she gave birth and she pushed that baby out, she pushed a little duke out. Okay? There's probably pee on the table and everything else. And you're going to look at him and say, I'll be watching. Lily, you should be there. You shouldn't have to be watching from up above, because you should be there. And see, that's the thing about Leo. Leo will make a choice, and then he'll try to make it seem like he's still good in what he's doing. So I'm going to be watching you. Leo, who are you threatening, baby? You shouldn't be threatening anybody, because you should be down there. He saved Piper in season 2 when she was going into whatever room she was going into. And he healed her as a spirit, which is a whole other conversation for a different day. Wings got clipped. What does he say later on when him and Piper are arguing? I clipped my wings for you. Huh? Why are you making it seem like this is some kind of obstacle that the elders put in front of you? That's not what happened. You made a choice to use your powers to save this woman because you wanted to. You got reprimanded because you knew it was against the rules. Now you're trying to make it seem like, oh, I clipped my wings for you. Leo is so... Leo is so useless. Even when he runs in, when Piper is pushing out Dookie, fecal matter, pee, and her baby on the dining room table where they eat their food. Even through all of that, what does Lily do? He almost misses it. And he runs, what'd I miss? I don't even remember what he was doing. That's the thing about it. I don't even remember what he was doing. I'm sure it was something that was for a reason, but that just goes to show. Lily just makes me sick. He just makes me sick. He makes me sick. Thank you, Ernest. Lily makes my stomach turn. He does. Lily makes my stomach turn. Healing Victor was the only good thing he did. That's it. Healing Victor was the only good thing he did. That's it. That's the only good thing. That's the only good thing Lily did. If it wasn't for that, listen, I will fully admit, if you are new here, baby, I will fully admit to you when I do not remember something. I'm not ever gonna sit here and just not, when I make something up, it's on purpose. If I do not remember what Leo was doing, that he wasn't there. I know he went to go do something, but I can't remember what it was that made him leave the manor. I will fully admit when I don't remember something. The whole point behind it for me is I still can't stand Lily. Cause you better believe that if it had been Phoebe up there on that table with her legs gaped, pushing out fecal matter and fetuses on the table, you better believe that Cole would have been right there. He was not going to be too far away from Phoebe. And it's different from when they were going up against the Source and she had him to go check on Piper's car or whatever. That's one thing. That's perfectly, that's good, that's great, that's fine. Okay, yeah, you asking me for a little bit of space. You better believe that if Phoebe Sharkeisha Halliwell had been pregnant and Magic was out, like Nicole is saying, and Magic was out and she was vulnerable and she was up on that table with her legs splayed open, finna push out fecal matter and babies on the table that they eat, Cole would have been right there. He never would have left that woman's side. The only reason Cole would have left that woman's side is if somebody had knocked him in the head. That would have been the only thing that got him away from her. That would have been the only thing that would have got Cole away from her. That would have been the only thing that would have gotten Cole away from Beyonce. That is the only thing that would have gotten him away. Lily, child, he went to Kroger. He probably went and got like a 10-pack of leg quarters or something. Like, Leo was out there living his best life. He didn't even remember Piper was pregnant. He said, whatever. He said, what was I supposed to go home for? I don't know. Lily can go. I can't. I don't even feel like he was in the car. I feel like Lily walked. I feel like he just walked. He was like, oh, there's nothing else going on. I'll just take a brisk walk. He said, I'll just take a brisk walk. And I can't. I can't. Lily makes me sick. He makes me sick. It was given very much out here collecting seashells by the seashore. He was at Kroger's with Piper's credit card. Very much that. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Nick at night. Like, it was given very much he walked down the street to the 7-Eleven. It was given that. I don't even remember why I started hating Lily, but I can't. Excuse me. Baby, if Lillian had lived to 2009, Lillian would have had on some Beyonce. Thank God I dodged a bullet. Like, baby, I promise you, 2009, what year did that song come out? I promise you turned out to be the best thing I never had. Like, if Lillian had been alive and she knew how to use an iPod, she would have been on that iPod. Thank God I dodged a bullet. I promise you turned out to be the best thing I never had. Baby. That old hag would have been so happy. She would have been so happy. But she would have hated me because I would have sent Leo back to her. She'd be like, oh my God, I'm losing my mind. Yeah, you are. Yeah. You are. She wouldn't have been that old. She would have been like 80 something. Because when Lily went to the lower room, before they made him a white lighter, he went in like 1945 and he was at least 18 to 20 at that point. So by the time Best Thing I Never Had came out, we would have been in our 80s. Cole and Phoebe were not past life lovers that I can recall. I don't remember them being past life lovers. Unless that's something that they did in the comics. I have a list of... I don't think that I have many characters from Charmed that are going to the upper room. Paige may go, but she got so many of her innocents, you know, unalived. I think Paige is going to the lower room. Prue went to the lower room. Piper's probably gonna go. Phoebe is probably gonna go. Graham's definitely went. Patty probably is in purgatory. Hey, Beezy. Y'all, not all these... Shut up, don't say that. Because I was going to say, not all these fine men be following me and I don't be knowing. I thought they were the episode when Phoebe went back to the past to stop herself from unaliving her. No, that was a whole different character, baby. Hey, Catherine, you and JD and all that dark-sided going to the lower room, baby, that ain't got nothing to do with me. Because me and Chris gonna be in heaven. Because Chris is gonna make it to heaven. Chris is gonna be the only Hallowell to make it to heaven. Because you know why it is going down. Down, down, baby, your street and a whatever. He's going down. Chris is gonna be the only one to make it. And me and Chris gonna be in heaven. Laughing at the rest of y'all. It's all a joke. I won't be persuading you. Oh, I know you won't. Because, baby, we are saved and sanctified. I'm not laughing at, like, being saved and sanctified. I'm just saying, like, girl, what was Piper's daughter's name? Can we talk about her? We'll come back to her. We'll come back to Melly Mel. But, yeah. So, season 5 just has so much going on. I wish that the Dark Lighter that got Lily in Sam I Am, I really genuinely wish that that Dark Lighter had succeeded. I think that it should have. He should have. Excuse me. I think that he was really bad at his job. And that if there had been a source at that time, that the source should have fired him. Because how hard can it be to take out a white lighter like Lily? Who is Lily supposed to be? All he does is wear cardigans. He doesn't wear cardigans, but he wears sweaters and khakis. All he does is go to Banana Republic and the Gap to get his wardrobe. So it's like, who is Lily supposed to be that he can survive all these Dark Lighter attacks? What was I finna bring up with that? Sam I Am. Let's talk about Sam I Am. And flannels. And flannels. Exactly. But let's talk about Sam I Am. Because I like that episode. And I definitely will go back and watch it, like, again and again. I know we have to have B plots in episodes, right? So we have to have a B plot, right? I feel like an episode with Paige and her father. Hey, Taronte. I feel like Cole was a pretty big B plot to have for that episode. I would have just made it like a random Dark Lighter attack. I don't think I would have added the Cole element because that made it like really jam-packed with stuff. So it's like, you know, we got Sam back and now we got Paige and and Lily being on the floor, half gone to the lower room. Like there's so much, and then this was a whole, plan by Cole to get them to come after him and try to vanquish him and whatever. Like there was too much happening. There was too much happening. But it makes sense how they tied it together. It's not that the story was bad. The story was good. And I like the way that they tied Cole's story into the episode. I just think that personally, as Galen, I think I would have focused more so on the whole aspect of Sam and Paige. Because I think that was the bigger thing that needed to be focused on. And then the fact that like Piper and Phoebe didn't even tell her, and they're like, when she was like, when they were like, Mom's white lighter, and then Piper kind of looks at Phoebe like she's stupid, and it's like, Paige's father. She's like, Mom's white lighter? You just saw him and that's what you got out of this? Mom's white lighter? Are you okay? Piper kind of looked at her like she was like, girl, are you stupid? Like, I know you're not whatever, but are you stupid? I know you don't think sometimes, but are you okay? Do we need to go back to the 3rd grade? Conjunction, junction, what's your function? Like, Piper was looking at that lady like she was out of her mind. And I understand why. Because why is the first thing you're going to jump to Mom's white lighter? Girl, this is your sister's pappy. Anyway, very small moment. Does not mean anything to the overall story. Just a little thing that I was like, let's be for real. But anyway, Sam being a drunk and whatever else, and Paige again being the only one, not Prue and Pie, but Paige being the last one in the room to know. That it's another instance where I hate that for Paige, and I think it really reminds us like how separate she is from everybody else. They know who he is. He knows who he is. Lily knew who he was before he even met them. So it's like Lily is just a piece of trash again. And even though that doesn't have anything to do with this particular episode, he's still a piece of trash. Because they were like, and you knew this was Mom's white lighter? And he was like, yeah, I did. Lily better pray to the heavens up above. And I'm talking about the character of Lily. I am not talking about Brian Krause. And that's one thing I want to make very clear. When we talk about the characters, when we talk about Paige and Phoebe and Piper and Prue and Lily and Cole, we are not talking about their actors. We are not talking about their actresses. We are not talking about the people behind that brought the character to life. So, anywho, I just want to make sure I made that distinction, because I don't need the, well, it was actually this. That's actually why Prue left. Girl, we know. But anywho, I don't even remember why I started talking about how useless Leo is, but Leo is useless. And then, of course, he's on the floor with this arrow on him. And yeah, the Sandy, Kentucky story was hilarious. I don't think we'll ever recapture that magic, but one day we're going to try. Lily, of course, is laying on the floor being useless after getting hit with this arrow. Paige didn't know it was coming, my innocent Paige. So, of course, she got hit. And, the fact that she helped Sam to heal himself, I think is another good indicator of the person that Paige is. Paige is a facilitator. And I think that's why, like in the later seasons, we kind of see her slide into being fatigued, because when you do help people like that, you can get fatigued very easily. Tyrante said, would you say Lily and Sam were just alike? I don't think they were just alike. I think they had the parallels, but I think at the end of the day, Sam was a good person. Like, Sam was a good person, unlike Lily, who is a manipulator and a gaslighter. And really only works to his own ends. Where Sam, I think, genuine, and not saying that Lily doesn't love Piper. I'm not saying Piper doesn't love her concubine. I'm just saying that I think Sam was not an effective white lighter because he loved Patty. Lily is not an effective white lighter at all, and then it was made worse by the fact that he loved Piper. So in that regard, I do think they are a lot alike. But I think I think Lily just wasn't effective anyway. Sam became ineffective because he got blinded by love. So it's like, take from that what you will. And the thing is, it is interesting. Sam did not know what the elders were going to do. Sam did not know what was going to happen to his child. And so him and Patty made the decision to, give her up because they thought that that was going to be keeping her safe. Even though that doesn't necessarily make sense, that's what they chose to do. So I can commend him. Good night, TARDIS, and thank you again, my darling. I can commend Sam and Squirtle, that lady, Squirtle, for trying to keep Paige safe, even though, like I said, it didn't make any sense. In that same vein, Lily procreated with Piper, gave birth to one of the most powerful magical creatures that has ever existed, and then Lily dipped. I can't. Because yes, Lily was going to help reconfigure, whatever magic. Okay, yeah, fine, that's good, that's great. I'll give you that. Oh, woohoo, the great and powerful Lily. But it's just the fact that he was so like chill about it. The man wasn't even hurt. He wasn't even crying. He wasn't even like, Piper, I don't want to do this. Piper, I don't want to. Not ABC Family. Girl, not ABC Family. But you know what I'm talking about? Like, he didn't even seem like he was like. So people are saying that the situation was manipulated by Chris. I can acknowledge that it was manipulated by Chris, and at the same time, Lily still chose to do it. Like, he still did it. If that makes any sense, it's not like someone had something up to his head and was like, you better come help us to redo. Good night, Jonathan. You better come help us redo magic, because if you don't, we're going to take you. No, Leo chose to do it. He chose to live. He chose to leave. He left. He told Chris that he'll be watching him. And then he came back on season 6 and acted like Piper should not have been moving on from her life. That was Piper. I mean, that was Lily. Lily was very hands off. Lily was very, this is what I want to do in the moment. Lily had completely disrespected Piper's relationship with Dan in season 2. Let's just double back to that. So it's fine because Lily wanted to help protect or whatever good magic. Okay, fine. Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah, I'll give you that. Okay, fine. Lily is the same person in season 2 who didn't care about Piper's relationship with Dan and was fully prepared to railroad it because he wanted to be with Piper and he felt like they were meant to be together. It's not like Dan was treating Piper wrong. It's not like Dan was doing anything to Piper, mistreating her, anything like that. No, Leo just wanted to be with Piper. And after all of that, Missing said, you're just saying words. The good thing about saying words sometimes when you string them together is that they make a point in a statement. And so maybe if you listen, you would know what the words being strung together say. And so that's my thing about Lily. is he does stuff like that. And then turns around and is like, girl, I'll see you later. I'll see you later. You have a great one. I don't know. Lily just, I'm just going to move on from Lily. I'm just going to let Lily go. I'm just going to hush. I'm going to be quiet. Because Lily makes me sick. I know I say that a lot, but Lily makes me sick. He just makes my ass itch. Victor is interesting. Victor is interesting because I think they do this weird thing with him where they at one point just sort of pretend like things are okay. I don't know how to describe that. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that like I feel like in season 5 we're just like Victor's just coming around now. You know what I mean? Like am I saying that everything, because I mean clearly, you know, losing Prue probably, you know, brought them closer. Like, I'm not saying that it doesn't make sense. I'm not saying that I don't like the fact that he started coming around, because I love it. I love the fact that he was in their, you know, lives again. I just feel like they kind of, it feels like they skipped something. It feels like they kind of skipped a part, and we didn't really get a chance to see them reconcile in some shape, form, or fashion. Like there was a piece missing. And so it's like you do get to the day that Piper you know, pushes out the fecal matter on the table that they eat at, and he's like, girls, meet your new stepmother. And it's like, Victor, you only been in these girls' lives, you know, for a couple of years. Don't just run in here talking about meet your new, you know. I feel like there's some deleted things that weren't meant to be. Like, yes. Like I feel like there's something missing. And so then you get like Piper in sympathy for the demon. Excuse me, y'all. I'm so sorry. I have indigestion or something. I'm so sorry. You get sympathy for the demon, where Piper remembers Victor leaving, and it's like the show clearly remembers that they have this connection, right? The show clearly remembers their history. So it's not like we can say, oh, the show forgot that Victor wasn't there, because they clearly do. But I don't know. It just feels like like, I don't know. And I may go back and watch it and be like, okay, well, there we go. Because even in season 4, remember when Phoebe was like, oh, this is the photo album Dad got us for our birthday. But you know what? Let me double back. That makes complete sense for a character like Phoebe. That makes complete sense that Victor gave her that birthday gift, maybe the only birthday gift he ever gave her. And it makes perfect sense that she would hold on to it the way she did. That makes sense. Never mind. Scratch that statement. That makes perfect sense for a character like Phoebe. That she would hold on to that and let that be like that piece of him. So it's like, okay, never mind. So somebody said something about Graham, you know, Victor blaming Grams. We don't have a lot of information. And so let me double back and say that, because the thing about perspectives is that from Victor's perspective, Grams might have been holding him back. And then from Graham's perspective, she didn't think that he needed to come around because, you know, she thinks that she's right about everything. Here's the thing that I am going to say. about this. Because I've seen people in the past say, I don't care what kind of spells were put, nothing could have kept me away from my daughters. And I think that that's very easy to say, but if you are genuinely being kept away by like spells or whatever else, or even dealing with somebody like Penny, it is going to be very difficult to be a part of your children's lives. Now, am I saying that he shouldn't have been a part of them? No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that, let's say Victor had taken Grams to court for custody of the kids, or for, shared custody of them. The thing about Grams is that she's a low blow hoe. And she's going to very quickly pull the, well, what happens if a demon attacks them while they're with you? How do you plan on protecting them? You know what I'm saying? Like, she would do stuff like that to try to make sure that he wouldn't go that far. Because Grams is that kind of person. Because she thinks that she's right. She doesn't trust men. And yeah. So, and the thing is, I see ZZ saying that like he hated her because she was, or hated on her because she was magical. And he had issues with the magical world. This is not Sabrina the Teenage Witch, right? Where we find out that our daughter is magical and she can like turn people into pineapples. And then the worst case scenario is that she may do something horrific and be stripped of her magic. This ain't that kind of world. This is a world where being a witch means that demons are going to attack you. And it means that demons are going to be coming after you. He lost his ex-wife to magic. Penny is a person who really, really was enamored with magic. And Penny probably used that against him in some shape, form, or fashion. He left because he couldn't handle it and didn't want them to be witches. Well, no, he didn't want them to be witches because he didn't want his daughters to go to the lower room. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not I Dream of Jeannie. This is not like they're still in danger regardless. I don't think... Okay. I'm going to really try to process this because my thing is like, he literally watched his ex-wife go to the lower room because of magic. And he's been in the room when his young daughters were attacked by demons. And Grams felt like she could protect them. The problem here is she never gave Victor an opportunity for them to work together. That's the issue. Is she could have said like when she told him, oh, they're witches, they're gonna, he made it all or nothing, like either they're witches or I can't be their father. I don't think that was the case. I really think it's really, because he never said that. Like, that's the thing, is he never said that. Like, if he had made that statement, that would be one thing. He never said that. He saw what magic was capable of, and he did not want that for his children. And Grams did. Like, that is what Grams wanted them to be. Because that's what Grams wanted them to be in the Demon of Fear episode. He still didn't say that then. Like I get kind of what you're going for, but I think you're trying to make the point that there was an ultimatum for him when I don't think it was the magic. I think it's the fact that Grams was trying to keep them around the magic. Like, Grams wasn't like meeting him halfway and being like, okay, well, here's what we do. You know, when they come with you, I'll give you these amulets or these charms, or we'll put crystals around the house or something like that. Instead of doing something like that so they could still go, you know, be with their father, she was just like, nope, they're witches. They're gonna have to learn how to deal with it. And that was just that. Like, she was so unrelenting. She was so unrelenting, and she didn't give the opportunity for any kind of wiggle room. I mean, we even see, wasn't the crystals a Paige invention? Technically it was a Prue invention, but at the same time we did see in Witchstock in the 60s that they were putting crystals around the house. ZZ said, I feel like he was unrelenting in his own way. I mean, you kind of have to be, because somebody like Grams, what was he gonna do? Like you can't, like, why not take more initiative to know about me? Okay, I can't do that anymore. But so Victor in this season is just very interesting. Get off live. Tell your mama to get off live. But anyway, girl, what am I talking about? Yeah, anyway, so Victor is his own little thing in season 5, because I don't think he plays like a huge role in it, but I think him being there is imperative. And then when we go into season 6, it's like, when we go into season 6 and then we find out that Chris, oh baby, they cutting up today, huh? Find out that Chris was so close to him in his timeline. So it's like Victor kind of made up for that with them. But again, I feel like that's because he had the opportunity to. So I don't know. Take from that what you will. Because, you know, sometimes you do get that with grandparents in real life. Like, you get that with grandparents where, you know, Brittany, listen, because I was like, baby, we are cutting up tonight in these comments, child. What is happening? But yeah. So it's like, I don't know, man. Baby, these people are cutting up in here. It's probably the same, one person making the same page over and over again. That's happened before. They'll be okay. Thank you. Oh, baby, I'm not getting off live. They'll be all right. Child, trust me, I done heard worse. What you mean, man? They're not working. Not the mod powers. I don't know why I'm so tickled. But yeah, it looks like everything is still insane. That's weird. Daisy and Mia having the same. I just looked at it and it's still saying the same. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'm sorry. But yeah. Oh yeah, thank you, because baby, when I tell you these people are cutting up tonight. But yeah. Aw, thank you, Flip. Flip said this is the longest I've stayed on anybody's live. I appreciate that. Child, listen, I'm just come on, from Alabama to Memphis. I want to move to Memphis. I used to want to move to Memphis so bad. And then now I'm kind of on Dallas. I don't know. I don't want to live in the South at all, but oh well. But anyway, that's a story for a different day. So yeah. I know nothing about charm, but I came across you live and pretend like I know what you're talking about. Girl, listen, or person. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say girl. I'm just saying, I just say that sometimes. Listen, I don't be knowing what I'm talking about half the time either. I just get up here and talk, child. Trust me. It's girl. Okay. But I just be talking to. Trust me. But yeah, that's what I mean when I say like season 5 really does. I think work in who they are as people. And season 5 really goes into like their experiences. Season 5 really goes into, I wish they had gone a little bit deeper with Paige, just a tiny bit. This would have been, I think, a really good season for her parents to come back. I think this would have been a good season for her to talk to them and say, excuse me, and just for her to express how lost she is and not really know her place in this family. And I'm not saying they had to be there every 5 minutes, but this would have been a good, I think, place for her to summon them and just talk and just have like a good Halloween episode, something like that. Yeah. And I don't know. Oh, y'all talking about Kyle? But yeah, Goober Fruit. Okay. Hey, Goober Fruit. Yeah, if you ever watch Charm, please let us know. So Andre, you know Paige ain't ever dated no man named Andre. No, you know Paige ain't ever dated no man named Andre. Don't do that. But, but no, it's one of those things where it's like, I think they just did so, like, there's so much in season 5. Like, there's so many things in season 5 to talk about. And there's always something that you can go back and be like, oh, I didn't even notice it. Oh, I didn't think about that. Like, even Piper having her moment in Oh My Goddess. It's funny to see like how Piper completely disassociated from what was happening around her. And I think the other part about it was like Piper saw the writing on the wall, and I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. I feel like Piper was getting increasingly frustrated throughout the episode because she knew what was coming. She knew what was happening. She maybe didn't know he was becoming an elder, but she knew he was spending more and more time up there. She knew that there was something happening, and it was making her more and more anxious. And the more anxious she got, the more angry she got. And I just love that she... I'm sorry. I'm getting my backpack. Ugh, hold on, y'all. Because I got to charge this cellular device. Because I always forget to... Oh. Well, I guess we won't be charging it. Girl? Not me. Child, we might not be charging it. Hold on, y'all. Give me a second. I'm going to put y'all over here. Put y'all over here for a second. Because where did I put that thing? I thought... Oh. Sorry, everybody. Sorry. That's my fault. But yeah, the way Piper was like, what family? And that's what I mean when I say like Piper gets caught up in her relationship and her role with other people. Because, you know, even though she has that little abomination that she pushed out onto their dining room table where they eat their breakfast, even though she had him, even though she had Phoebe and Paige, she said what family when she didn't have Leo, when she was losing Leo, because in her mind she had started essentially a new family, you know what I mean? Like, and Leo was part of that, and or was, you know, sort of the center of that, because I think when she realizes like, oh, he's not here, he's left us, whatever else, that's why she really broke down, I think, is because it was like, okay, I have this, family, and now Leo is messing it up. And I have like this normalcy that I've craved, and now Leo is messing it up. And so in her mind, because her concubine, wasn't there and he was, spending time away from her, it was kind of like, well, what family do I really have? Yeah, I have this boy that I shit out on the dining room table. Yeah, I have my sisters, but I don't have that. And so I think that's kind of in the same vein as Phoebe a little bit, where it's like, I don't think it's necessarily the man that they like. I don't think it's the man himself that they really center their view on. I think it is what they see in this man and what this man can give them and what he represents. And I think the only reason that Lily works as a concubine, where Cole doesn't work as a demon, I think because the show has that good and evil, thing happening, where it's like evil can never succeed. No matter what happens with it, no matter what, even Kira in season 7, Kira is still evil. And so I don't think that I think the show goes out of its way to tell us that she wants to be human, but I think that the underlying message is still evil can't prevail. So even though it was another form of evil that took Kira out, I think it just, I don't know. Zoe said this is not from Charmed. Well, where is it from, baby? Please tell me where it's from. I would love to know. Because I've never watched Charmed. I don't know what she throwing words up there for, because when folks be doing that, they be trying to get you to say something. But anyway, so yeah. So that's just my thing. Is evil just like can't win. And I think that's what they were still trying to push to us, is that evil cannot win in any shape, form, or fashion. Even if they're not evil anymore, if that makes any sense. So it's like, because Charm just had that dichotomy. And I think that's why they let Piper's concubine kind of went out in the end of the show. Because like, oh, he's good. And he means well. And he just wants to, help good magic. And he's for the greater good. I shouldn't be laughing this hard at you in these nicknames. Baby, listen. We got a nickname for almost everybody. I stay with a good old nickname, child. I just... That's my issue with him. That's my issue with him. Good night, Joey. Leo was at his best as an avatar. I'm going to say something. Hey, JD. I'm going to say something. And I don't know whether this is going to be a popular thing. I think Lily can work as a character if he's not with Piper. And I don't think that it's because, like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with Piper. I'm not saying, like, oh, Piper is what, whatever. I think that the way that he approached his relationship with Piper, I think that if Lily was independent of that, I probably would not have the same level of disdain for him. And the reason I say that is that when Steven brought up the Avatar storyline, I do think that when Lily is able to do something on his own and he can focus on himself, I do think that he's more successful as a character. And Lily being selfish reads is unfair because Piper has to put her sisters before him. Here's the problem with that. You got this one cutie in here, but he's probably looking for a husband. Just my luck. Which one? Which one? Which one? Say it. Say it. Which one? Just whisper it. Whisper it. Tell me. Whisper it. I ain't gonna tell nobody. Say it. Cause But so it's like, I don't remember what point I was making. Yeah, Lily works as his own separate character. Oh yeah, because of her relationship with her sisters. Here's the thing about Lily Beezy. Oh baby, Beezy is fine. Do you understand me? Beezy is fine. But girl, I ain't even, cause child, I know I ain't on nobody's radar, so I don't even be tripping. You know what I mean? Like I don't be expecting that nobody knows nothing. So I just like to point out when people are fine, cause that man is fine. Anywho, I walked out of the room and then my twin brother was here, and I think he might have said something. So did y'all hear? Did he say anything just now? You pay bills. Oh. All right. You know, a Drag Race corner. Someone named Drag. Someone named Drag. Baby, listen. All I'm saying is, what episode? We are talking about multiple episodes in season 5, Jonathan. But this one is from Baby's First Demon. Don't play with me like that. But yeah, Beezy, baby, you are Beezy. We're not trying to like call you out, make you uncomfortable or anything like that. And if we are, please let us know. And I promise you we will stop. We just want to let you know that you are a very good looking man. You are very, very attractive man. Very attractive. Girl, listen. y'all know your boy be a little fast sometimes. So y'all gotta forgive me. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Hey Lena. Hello, my darling. How are you? Hey Maple Brown Queen. What were we talking about? So yeah, baby, listen, because Catherine, I'm looking for a husband too. It's 2024. We're trying to go ahead and we're trying to get some stuff. I'm not busy. We're not putting that. I'm just saying, like, that's what Catherine and I are looking for. We're looking for husbands. Lena says she's looking for a husband too. Listen. We need to just start us a dating show. We just need to all just, child, we need to figure it out. We need to go do something. Is it, oh, am I saying your name wrong? Is it, oh Lord, I'm so sorry. I keep saying Lena, oh, it might be Lena. And I'm saying Lena, because I don't know how we're going to wife people up. Mia says she's giving up on the husband. She's looking for a wife. Listen, Mia's looking for a wife. Me and Catherine looking for husbands. Daisy Lou got somebody. Daisy Lou is in baby. We trying to figure it out in 2024. But anywho, the thing about Lily, because I think that's a very interesting point to bring up about Lily coming off as selfish because of how close she is with her sisters. Here's my thing about that. That's a really tight rope to walk, because on one hand, baby, singles book club on one hand, it makes sense to kind of feel whatever you're gonna feel about that. Like, it makes sense on one hand. Excuse me, I'm so sorry, y'all. But then here's the other issue. And here's another reason that I say white lighters and witches should be together. Lily has probably a deeper understanding than any man that any of them have ever dated. He has the deepest understanding of what their sisterhood means. He has, of every man that has ever come in that house, the deepest understanding of how their sisterhood is the one thing that keeps them alive. I don't know why I'm holding up 2 fingers and saying one thing, so I'm just going to pretend like I didn't. The one thing that keeps them alive, right? He has very intricate knowledge. And Steven is saying he does and should acknowledge it, but also he's her husband. That's what I'm saying. That's the problem. That's the problem. And that's why white lighters and witches don't need to be together. Because those two things are very difficult to exist at the same time. And am I saying that it's unfair to him? Sort of. But then he put himself in that position. So I can't fully be like, oh, well, I feel so bad for Lily because, he just wants his wife to be his wife. He chose to be with Piper. And he fully understood what their story, how their connection is. Like, he fully understands their dynamic and what it has to be, and he chose to be a part of that. So you can't really I'm not gonna say you can't, I'm gonna say it doesn't necessarily make sense for you to be so like, oh, they're always together, the freaking power of three. Well, yeah, Leo, because if they're not, they could go to the lower room, and you know that, but you still inserted yourself into this relationship in that manner. You know what I mean? Like, it's even in like on a more micro level, even like when he invited him and Piper out to lunch with Cole and Phoebe. He knew full well he didn't have the money to pay for that. And I think that that's one of those instances of Leo trying to make a decision and it completely conflicts with who they are as a couple and how their dynamic with the world works. And then he wants to go back and try to be butthurt over it. He put himself in that scenario. Nobody said, hey, Leo, do you want to bring Piper out? And then he was kind of like, and Piper's like, yeah, we're gonna go. No. He's the one who wanted Piper to have something normal. So he puts it off on her, number one. He puts that off on her to say, well, you're always saying that you want to go out. And you were always saying that you want to be normal and whatever else. And so he invites himself out on this outing with Phoebe and Cole, knowing that he couldn't pay for it. And then when he couldn't pay for it and he feels embarrassed and Piper has to step in and say, oh, did you leave your wallet at home? Because Cole got money. Cole ain't worried about that. Because Evil has set Cole up to where he got money. He can take care of it. And even though it might have been a little, if misogynistic for him to be like, well, Leo, how about the men pay for it? Whatever. I mean, it's a date, so it kind of makes sense that you would have that expectation. But anywho, Cole is good, and he's looking at Leo thinking like, oh, well, I mean, you must be. I would have assumed like, yeah, Leo must be all right because he didn't invite himself out. So yeah, he's good. So when Piper steps in and she has to correct it and say, oh, did you leave your wallet at home? And she pays for it. What does Lily do? They go back home and he takes it out on her. I was so embarrassed. I was humiliated because in my day, men always paid for the meals. Well, Leo, you put yourself in that situation, baby. No one else did that. No one else told you to do that. You chose to do it. And I think that that's an example of stuff that Leo does. He chose to be with Piper to the point where he was just like throwing Dan off to the side. Oh, Dan don't matter because I want to be with Piper. And I'm just going to be up in here all the time until I get her. And then when he got her, he's upset that she's close with her sisters. Even though he knows that their sisterhood is... Even with him becoming an elder, he doesn't do it to a... I don't think that he does it to a huge extent when he becomes an elder, but he still does it when you listen. I'm not saying like when you listen, like everybody's too stupid to catch it. I'm just saying like our love lifted me up so high that this was the highest possible place it could go. Manipulation. Manipulation. You cannot tell me that you loved me so much and I loved you so much that the only possible thing that could happen is I eventually leave you and our family. Huh? Even if that's not how he meant it, that's fine. My point is that to tell Piper, like, we loved each other so much that the only possible thing left was for me to become an elder. What? And okay, so Victor is saying, but that was Chris's manipulation. I'm talking about in the moment what Lily actually says. So not the situation as a whole, which is kind of messy in and of itself. And that's kind of going to be like a different, I think, conversation. That's kind of a different conversation. It's the fact that is what Lily chooses to say. It's the fact that he chooses to say, you know, we did it. Lily, you are leaving me and our child. If he had said something like, I believe in myself in a way that I never thought I would, I could give you that. Because even though I feel like that's still low-key kind of saying you did this, I feel like it's not at the same time. Because it's like, you're allowing me to believe, you know, like, I feel like that's saying like, our love lifted me up versus I believe in myself now. Oh no. Lily was manipulative. Lily was manipulative with the things that he would choose to say and the way he would choose to frame things. To me. Am I saying Lily is the most manipulative character that has ever existed? And oh my God, no. I am saying that Lily as a character was... Because here's the thing about it. I really want us to like... I really want us to think about what that storyline could have become. Right? So we have spent the entire show almost hearing about how horrible the elders are. And making jokes about how the elders don't know anything. And the elders are this. And the elders are that. And the elders. They do this almost the entire show about how horrible the elders are. And I think that what they could have done with this storyline was had Leo want to change magic and the way that it was governed, and then it would make sense. Come on, if every pork chop was perfect, we wouldn't have hot dogs. Come on, Steven Universe. What's your name? Victor in your bio. If he had done that, I think that storyline would have made sense. And then I could have been like, okay, that makes sense why he would want to be part of reforming the elders, because he wants to make sure that you know, it's created fairly, because now we can create it from the ground up. And so Leo is using his, you know, experience with them to create a more inclusive elder. And then we see it happen on, like, we actually see it happen. Because then that story would have made sense. then that would have made sense why he would want to go be an elder. Because as it stands, it didn't make any sense to me. Like, yeah, we can talk about the greater good. That's fine. That's good. That's great. That's fine. But there was no payoff from it. And there needed to have been some payoff, because I just stood here after years of watching Piper and Leo's love story, and he just told her, oh my God, excuse me. He just told her, I'll see you later. And you want, for the same people that have treated them horribly throughout the years, right? And now you want me to be invested in the fact that Lily is going to join those people. But we never get, this is how he is integrating himself into elder culture. And then the fact that he's down there every other day. Well, you know, sometimes I come down here just to hold Wyatt. Well, Lily, you shouldn't have left, baby. You can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. You're either an elder or you are a part of this. You can't come down when you want to. That's not how that works. You can't be a part-time elder, because that's what Leo was trying to do. Leo was trying to be a part-time elder, a part-time daddy, and he was trying to be a part-time husband, but Piper wasn't letting him. So you see what I mean? Like Leo never just makes, not never. Leo didn't just make the choice and then stick with it. He still wanted to have his hands in different pots. And he still wanted to come in and do in pieces, but not actually do anything that was doing anything for anybody. So it's like, well, Leo, you telling me that you're an elder and you supposed to be one of the people that other white lighters are coming to for guidance. Well, baby, how was that working if you down here trying to find Piper having sex on a dang fire truck? You're supposed to be one of the most all-knowing beings that good comes to for questions. And you down here in the closet holding your baby. Baby, you can't have it both ways, darling. You need to make a choice. You can't. You literally, those two roles do not mesh. You can't be a part-time father and a part-time elder. You have to. And then at one point, what does he do? He decides to go up there and join them permanently. Now here's the thing about manipulation. Is you can have someone manipulate a situation and still acknowledge that that person made the choice because they didn't know it was a manipulation. Know what I mean? Like, yes, Leo was taken up there on a permanent basis as part of a plan, but Leo still chose to go up there on a permanent basis. See what I'm saying? Like, it's the choice behind it. It's the same thing with Phoebe, right? It's the same thing with Phoebe. Oh, God, what was I finna say? When Cole was manipulating Phoebe to move out of the manor, as the source, Cole is the source, you know, he was doing things to annoy Phoebe. He was manipulating the situation, but she still chose to move out of the manor. So it's like, she didn't know she was being manipulated. She just thought, oh, this is getting on my nerves, and so me and my man finna split. That was how Phoebe was looking at it. So yes, Cole was manipulating the situation, but Phoebe still made the choice to leave of her own, what she thought was her own accord. And it's the same thing with Lily. Lily is making these choices and then being like, oh, wow. No, baby. Mm-mm. 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 It's just like when he became an avatar. So let's talk about that for half a second. Because I need to go back and watch season 7 to have a full-fledged watch it, to rewatch it, because I haven't watched it like in its entirety for a long time. My thing with him being an avatar is Lily chose to do it, and then he chose to lie to Piper about it. Now, this is right after Lily has unalived another elder after being manipulated, right? After being manipulated, and he has unalived another elder. And what does Piper do? Piper comforts him. Piper is there for him. Piper holds him close to her bosom and says, it's okay, we're going to get through it together. And then what does Lily do? He becomes an avatar and he looks her in her face and lies to this woman. Thank you for the heart. Looks this woman in her face and lies to her. They have 2 children together. He been bouncing up, down, around, and in this woman for years. They done been the hell in a handbasket together. And he looked this woman dead in her face and lied to her. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so it's things like that, that even if you can say like, Lily didn't know how to tell her, he was trying to, figure out a way to bring her into the fold, things like that. You should have known. And I feel like the show didn't necessarily give us like them being mad at him, because I needed Piper to not talk to this man for like 3 months. Because baby, the only thing I will give Lily in this scenario is that when he realized what the avatars really were, he did come up with, the plan to have, Phoebe remember everything that happened so she could expose it. He did. I'll give him that. That's fine. I'll give you that. I shall. I will give you that. And he did sacrifice himself so that he could do so. I'll give you that. I cannot take that from him. I cannot take that from him. He did set that story. He did do that one good thing. He ate that one little thing. With that being said, Lily does all of this and then becomes human, and it almost feels like he just gets a chance to reset. He just gets a chance to reset, and he gets a chance to be human now and go live with his wife and their children that he barely loves, and he just gets to live a normal, sweet little life with her. Excuse me. Made me burp. It literally gave me indigestion thinking about that. And giving him a compliment. Like, it actually gave me acid reflux. I just... That's what I mean when I say, like, now Lily is in a situation where magic is no longer an option. We can't become an elder. We can't become an avatar. Now we're ready to settle down. Now we're ready to build shelves. And now we're ready to organize the attic. And now now we're ready to be a husband. Oh, okay. And then we start working at magic school. And what do we find out we did later on? We had a demon that we used as a test demon. You did what? We did what? We did what? We did what? Girl, I was like, I see the uses of it. Here's my issue with having a demon that can't be vanquished and you can just kind of do like whatever to it. We see how it came back and kicked them in the butt. And now we got to send this demon to the astral plane because we can't vanquish it. Like, the way that could have backfired at any given moment is insane. And to have a demon that you can basically just torture and experiment on. Thank you. Leo had no magic to defend the students. What was going to happen? He better pray to God that these 16-year-olds he better pray to God that these 16-year-olds who are in Levitation 105 can do what they need to do. Girl. Leo is just... Leo is just a piece of trash. The most peaceful time on the show was towards the end of season 8 when Lily wasn't there. And even then we had to listen to Piper gripe about him 24/7. So it was just like, girl, just let Darklighter Paige do what she need to do. They put that man in the refrigerator. They put Lily in the refrigerator and said, okay, we'll see you later. I see why Piper was crying. She had to put her husband in the refrigerator, child in the freezer. She still hadn't gotten the fecal matter at the table from when she gave birth to Wyatt. And now she got to put her husband in the refrigerator. And it's like, I just wish Lily hadn't even been there. I wish that Alex Darklighter, Alex instrument that Darklighters use, I wish it would have worked in season 1. I wish it would have worked in season 1. And then all of this could have been avoided. If they had just taken Lily out when they had the opportunity and not let him linger, whatever that means, then... Girl, I'm sorry. I know we would have had to lose Piper's power to freeze, but girl, sometimes you gotta break some eggs. I would sacrifice Piper's power if it would mean sending Lily to the lower room. I would absolutely do that. Hey, somewhere on a plane, your vegan tour guide. Purr. I want to go somewhere. I'm ready to go somewhere, but I don't know where. I'm supposed to get on a plane for the first time in June, so y'all pray for me. Because, baby, I'm going to have to be on some kind of medicine to help me get on there. Yeah, like, Lily was definitely giving me, like Lily Chocolate Ballerina Company. Purr. Let's do a bestie vacay. I would love that. That would be so fun. That would be absolutely so fun. Child, Lily stresses me. I don't even know how we started talking about this man. I don't even remember what it was that triggered me to talk about this man like this. I don't know what. He makes me sick. Lily makes me sick. And as an aside, we are going to try our hardest to migrate over to Patreon. So if you have a TikTok Live subscription that maybe is going to expire soon, and you would like to continue supporting me, please head on over to my Patreon. We're going to try to integrate there. We're going to try to make that a little bit more lively, things like that, so that we can continue to give you amazing content that you are going to love. So, Thursdays we will be doing lives on my YouTube. Thank you, Catherine. And we're trying to, like, if you don't subscribe to me on YouTube, you should do it anyway. But we're trying to move on over because, you know, with everything that they got going on with TikTok right now, we're just trying to make sure that everyone can find us where we need to be. Excuse me. So, subscribe to the YouTube. Subscribe to my Patreon if you would like. It's up to you. If you would like to support a content creator like me. My Cash App is also in the link tree, so do I prefer Henry from Reboot? Hey Cynthia. Harry. I feel like I would have to go back and watch it to give a full actual opinion on that, because I don't care for Harry as a character, because I feel like they put Harry over the actual Charmed ones and they kind of made him like the unofficial, you know, fourth sister from the jump. And so I don't necessarily care for Harry. I don't think Harry was a bad character ish. I think Harry was put in a position that he should not have been on that show. And so that made me not like him. I think he was probably a little bit more competent than Lily, but it got lost in the fact that like you're saying, Harry took up space. I think that him being a little bit more like competent kind of got lost in the fact that they put him at the forefront. So, I don't know. Oh, 20K likes. Purr. Thank you, hussies. Purr. Baby, y'all be cutting up. 77 shares. 20K likes. Baby, y'all eating. Y'all are eating. Give me some tartar sauce, because, girl, I'm about to eat. We are going to have a live about the reboot one day. Any LGBTQ people in the reboot, at least. Oh, God. Male. Yeah, male right off the bat. And the reason I said, oh God, is because I think when they were promoting the show, they put emphasis on certain aspects of them a little too heavily. And so the show didn't feel like it was a show so much as like a, look what we can do. For me, as a person who is a, you know, person of color and part of the LGBTQ plus community, it felt very much like, from the way they promoted it, I'm not saying necessarily the way it came out, but it was a CW show. Like it just felt like they were kind of pushing that towards the forefront, as opposed to like what the show was supposed to be. Anyway. Because, oh child, that's a whole other conversation. But yeah, so season 5, I think, is actually better than a lot of us have given it credit for in the past. And by that, what I mean is I think season 5 is kind of like the goofy season. Season 5 is kind of like the one where we're like, oh God, you know, that's when it got like crazy. That's when it that's when it started going downhill. I don't think that's when it started going down. 20K with 56 members per. I think season 5 is just where they make a turn into not having the same level of weight behind the source and the this and the that, you know, like there's not this constant threat coming for us anymore. And I think that that's why it feels almost silly by comparison. Because season 4 is like, we got the source, we got Phoebe's baby, we got the seer, we got this, we got that, we got Cole, you know, we got learned about a new sister, we got Prue being gone. We like, there's so much happening in season 4 and it's so chaotic and it's so dark and deep and you know, there's so much to focus on as far as like a story. And then season 5 comes and we turn into superheroes and we turn into mermaids and we turn into nymphs and we, you know, doing stupid stuff, you know, like we have that kind of stuff happening, I think, because there's time for it to happen again. Like in season 1 and 2, I mean, it's not like they were exactly going up against, you know, Zanku level threats. It's not like they were fighting Magneto in season 1. But I think that's because they were still learning it. It didn't feel as kind of like, it was good. Like the story behind the sisters was good. Were good because we were getting to know them. We were getting to know their dynamics. We were getting to know who they were as witches, as people, how that was gonna mesh and meld and whatever else. And then you turn around as things go and it gets deeper and it gets darker. And there's this, you know, the source is after us and, you know, we meet the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Like it starts to get very deep as time goes on. And so by season 4, that heaviness is gone. And now we can kind of go back to life a little bit more normally, you know. So that's why I think season 5 has that kind of childish feel to it. Because it is a little bit more innocent than previous seasons had been. It is more innocent than, you know, season 4 had been, season 3. And we do get a chance to be silly again. We do get a chance to be extra, honestly, funny. You know, season 5 was camp. Baby, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about my girl, the evil witch. Baby, when my girl looked at that man after she came out that mirror and she said, "Freedom's lost must be unwitting. Into the glass to do my bidding." Camp. Do you understand me? Camp. When I tell you that woman said, "Baby, I'm not the one." She said, "I'm not the one. Don't play with me like that." She said, "If I got to put one of the charmed ones in a pumpkin, I sure will." She said, "If I'm finna put the other one in a glass casket, I sure will. And you think I'm not going to let the other one get eaten by a wolf? I sure will." Baby, mama came in about took them girls out. Mama came in about took them girls out. With a wave of the hand. And you know what? I ain't never even really thought about that like that. I've never really actually thought about that before. The evil witch from that episode really was, she really did almost eat them up. She really did. Phoebe was trapped in a pumpkin. Piper and Grams got eaten by a wolf. And Paige was unalived for most of the episode. Baby, she ate them alive. This is what evil witches can do, baby. This is what evil witches can do. Steven said, "Let's wake it up." Her. Because I've never even thought about that before. She came in and ate them up. Tawatha came in and ate them up. Low-key, the Stillmans ate them up. like, girl, my girls could not handle evil witches. If it was an evil witch, they didn't know what to do. The only one that didn't stand a chance was that little one, the little green one that Paige vanquished in season 6. That's the only one. The Enchantress came and ate them up. Like, my girls didn't know what to do with evil witches, baby. They didn't know what to do. You know, the Stillmans are my babies. The Stillmans are my boos. The Stillmans are the loves of my life, and I will forever stand them. Because a lot like the evil witch, they came in and they ate. They came in and they ate. When my Mabel said, "Perfume ladies," and then they did that and they disappeared. 8. 6, 7, 8. Why was 9 afraid of 7? Because 7, 8, 9. Baby, 8. Ate it up. Ate it up. Give me sight through blackest bile. Show me the faces I revile. Blinking faces, blanking ho-hum. We are they and they are no one. Grant to us the power of 3 and turn them into nobody. That one was a little stupid, but that's okay because it got the job done. That's okay because it got the job done. That's okay because it got the job done. Call me victorious. Okay, victorious. Got the job done. We are they and they. Margot did not write that spell. That was Mabel. Mabel was the one who wrote that. You know, Margot don't even know how to read. When she said, "Do you like my anti-orb spell?" It's just because she was putting words together. Love my Margot down, but my Margot did not write that one. You see, they didn't even let us hear the anti-orb spell. They said, "Girl, bye." They said, "Girl, we're not finna embarrass ourselves like that." I love Princess Margot. Margot came in and was fighting for human rights. She was fighting for equality. But Margot, I'm not even convinced knows how to read. So that was all Mabel. Mabel was so fine too. Like, Mabel was so fine. Like, I remember being like, I remember always thinking, like, if I was a girl, I want to dress like that. Like, I would want to dress like Mabel. Because she was just fine. And you know, like, when somebody know they fine, like, that's how Mabel would walk. Mabel would kind of walk like, ooh. Like, Mabel was it. Mabel and Paige were it, baby. The charmed ones. Mabel and Paige, low-key. Low-key. All I'm saying is, now that I'm in my heterosexual era, if they want to meet me at the same time, we can go in a room in which there are no others. Perm. Catherine, is our man still in here? Catherine, is he still in here? I would die if he is. What if he is and he left us? Okay, because I was like, oh Lord. I was like, girl, what if that man's still in here? And he heard that and he'd be like, y'all cutting up. And then he just don't ever come back. I don't think he here. JD, stop. JD, don't gaslight us. I mean, he was cool. Like, I don't think he was upset. I think he would have said if he was upset. I think he would have said if he was upset. I feel like he probably just was like, I got this fat man up here saying this. He was like, that's not my vibe. That's not my judge. He was like, no, I'm good. He was like, no, thank you. No, thank you. That's why that's why I don't be wanting to offend people. Because I be thinking like they gonna be like somebody that looks like me thinks that I know that's weird. I know that that's weird. I know that that is so weird. It says he's in the viewers. Catherine, it do say he's still in here. Okay, Catherine, we gotta be cool about this. Don't make it awkward. We gonna pretend like he didn't hear us. We're gonna pretend like he didn't, cause he ain't commented. So that means he wants to hear what we got to say, and I respect that, cause he's like, I'm not doing that. Okay, so we just gonna move on. We just gonna move on. Okay, all right. So yeah, child. Oh, the spider demon. She was my baby. Ooh, baby. The spider demon. She was just so like excuse me. She just oozed. If you know what I'm saying, she oozed it. Dantalian or the spider demon. The spider demon was giving me like Angelina Jolie and Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Like just SEGGS kitten, right? But then Dantalian was giving me very much like seductress. Like she would be the one, like the spider demon would walk in a room and get your man because she wants him. But Dantalian will walk in and your man will go to her. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Like, the spider demon is gonna be a hussy. Whereas, like, Dantalian was like, girl, I don't even want that man. You know, I know we were talking about season 5, but I do want to say this about Dantalian real quick. Because my friend and I, we were talking about her the other day. And the fact that she tried to unalive Prudence with that spell to vanquish a female warlock. Mama couldn't possibly have thought she had the power to do that. But then that made me wonder, like, how powerful was Prue as a demon, as a warlock? Like, could she have done it? I guess is the question. Like, because she went to say that spell super quick. Like, she went to say that spell quick. And I'm like, Miss Mamas? That might not be your best bet. And then she turned around when Piper and Phoebe got there and was like, I may not be powerful enough to fight you, but they are. And then she put them, and I'm like, well, girl, what were you gonna do if, by Daisy Lou, like, what were you gonna do if she, I don't know, man. I don't know. It was just a funny moment. It doesn't ruin the episode for me or anything like that. It just was funny. It was just hilarious. Y'all, what time is it? Excuse me. God. 10:30 for you. Ooh. We've been on here for 3 hours. Through this book, weave this spell. create the pain of heaven to hell. Or something about heaven and hell. May she suffer. And what was the rest of it? May she suffer until she cries. The end will come, and then he gets up out of here. Just keep breathing and breathing and breathing. Keep on breathing. Thank you, Victor. It took me a long time to get to some of these conclusions, because I've watched the show a million times. Like, that's why I don't even watch in sequence anymore. I just kind of watch what I want to watch at random points. Because I used to look at the show through a very basic lens, right? And so what I wanted to do was really start, her cameo was so cute. It was so adorable. He's not in the viewers anymore. Girl, we made him mad. We done upset that man. See, that's what I'm talking about. I gotta stop. I be doing too much. Y'all, I really be forgetting sometimes. And I just be like joking. And then it's like, I really feel like people hate me. I really genuinely feel like people get disgusted. And they'll be like, I don't want to watch him anymore because he made me uncomfortable. And I don't know. Oh, God. I feel horrible now. I feel like a piece of trash. I genuinely feel like a piece of trash. I need to stop that. Because I just be kind of funny. You know, like I just be thinking I'm just funny. And I just be whatever. Like kind of half flirting, kind of whatever. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I think it might not be. Hey, Claire. Y'all, I love the episode of Claire's podcast that I was able to do with her. Please go watch it. Please go give us a listen. I'm so glad you did. Please go subscribe to Claire on YouTube. Claire, we're going live on YouTube every Thursday from now on. So please feel free to join us. Please feel free to join us. But yeah. So, yeah. So we are going to have a new live schedule, y'all. We're going to try to go live on here Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday. And then we're going to go live on YouTube every Thursday. That's the plan. So the plan is Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday, we go live on here. And then we go live on YouTube on Thursdays. So if you would like to be a part of this, please go subscribe to my YouTube. It is in my bio. You don't even have to go search anything. You can just click a button and it'll take you there. Did I say Tuesday or Thursday? Girl, it's every other Thursday. Yeah, it's every other Thursday. We're gonna go live on YouTube every other Thursday. I mean, every Thursday. Girl, y'all look over me. Because I'm trying to plan out a lot here. Okay, I'll look at it, Claire. So we're doing that so we can get on a regular schedule. We're trying to make the Patreon work a little bit more than it is right now. So please support us on Patreon if you would like to. And if you are a subscriber, then, you know, if you would like to, once your subscription expires, if you would like to, you know, still support your boy, then please feel free to head on over to Patreon to do so. Yeah. And we're gonna have some merch. I'm so excited about the merch. My sister and I were talking about it today, so we're gonna start trying to put some stuff in place. Hey Crystal, I didn't know you were in here. We're gonna try to put some stuff in place. We're trying to think about what we're gonna do. We're gonna start with some stickers. Grams reads, listen, if I could, I sure would. The thing about it is, and I don't have anything against people who do this, right? So let me make this very clear. I am not a put on a wig type person. Not because there's anything wrong with that or anything like that. Like, it's not like that. I just personally don't want to do that because I think I can be funny without that. So it's like, you know, Blake, he was so cute. Oh my God. Like, the man was, he made me feel things. Let me stop. Oh God, let me stop, child. Let me stop. Oh God, I'm so tickled. I'm so tickled. I'm so tickled. But no, but yeah, it, but yeah, so it's like, we're trying to do some new stuff. And I'm excited. I'm so excited. So excited. So excited. What was I gonna tell y'all, hussies? Oh, not Blake and JD finna break up because Blake was up here talking about another man was fine. But you didn't hear that from me, chum. Chi Herbals. You're so pretty. You're gorgeous. But yeah, so you been taking an exam while watching this. Got a 98 par. Congratulations, Leia. Congratulations. Congratulations. I'm so happy. I'm so proud of you. You ate that up. But yeah, I do want to sell the stickers. I think I'm gonna, but then I want to send the stickers to like everybody for free. I'm not gonna ask y'all to pay for that. You know. Excuse me. So I want to send that. Yeah, I don't know why I keep burping tonight. I am so sorry. I had something earlier, and it has just torn me up. So I'm so sorry. I know that's disgusting. I know that's disgusting. And that's why Beezy ain't gonna talk to me and Catherine. It's okay. We're gonna find love one day, Catherine. We're gonna find love. Don't be listening to Mr. G. You know you're the only man for me in this live chat. Baby, that's not what you said earlier. That's not what you said earlier. You literally were just up here talking about another man, so it ain't about what listening to me. It's about what you said, Blake. But I'm not trying to be messy or nothing. I'm not trying to be messy. I'm not trying to get anything started. And I hope you would never think that. I'm so sorry, Blake. I don't want to get anything started. That was never my intention. The engagement might be a... Oh my God. You were supposed to be the maid of honor. Well, y'all keep on trying to go to the lower room. So, child, you wasn't going to get a chance to be the maid of honor. Sounds like it was doomed from the start. But you didn't hear that from me. I didn't say that. What would overcome me? Ah! Chaos. 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 I have my ordination license. Ordination? Why did I say it like that? If you need a minister. I don't think they're going to. I've been telling y'all, Blake is a jerk. Blake is a jerk. I mean, no, Blake is a lovely, lovely person. That laugh has lower room. No, C. Wigglesworth. I like that name, Wigglesworth. If I have a rabbit, that's what I'm gonna name it, C. Wigglesworth. But anyway, I think we had a pretty good discussion about season 5. What y'all think? I think we did pretty good. I think we did. Me personally. Y'all may not agree, but I think we did. think it was a great discussion. I do too, Catherine. I think we had a really good discussion on season 5. Because season 5, I think, deserves... Galen is messy. When has Galen ever been messy? Hey, ARVR Productions. Hey, Ryan. I've never been messy a day in my life. And yeah, I think that we had a really good, really good, it was great until my engagement was broken off. Well, baby, I don't think that it was on solid footing to begin with because it was Blake, but I mean, I'm so sorry that happened. No, that's so crazy. I hope you two work it out. Yeah, it was fun because it turned into a Leo bashing session. That's always what makes it fun. Anything where we get a chance to bash Piper's concubine. Fun. My heart is broken for you. Oh. My heart is broken for you too, JD. How did I become Leo in this fandom? You know what you did, Blake. You know what you did. And just like the elders, I'm going to make it my mission to get you. Ooh, JD said I'm good. On to the next. Wherever I go, there is always an aura of hatred and distrust. And I'd like to thank you for coming on this journey of chaos with me as I spread negativity and as I make others as unhappy as I am on the inside. Because misery loves company, and my name is Misery. So, you can just call me Annie Wilkes, because misery is my favorite story. And I'm always going to share it wherever I go. So, thank you. Misery Chastain. That was the character's name. Misery Chastain. You're definitely going to be in the lower room with Catherine now. From what? What did I do? I didn't do anything. Facts. Good night, Claire. JD, I want you to know I am joking, and I hope that I didn't take that joke too far. So I am sorry if I hurt your feelings or anything. I don't apologize to Blake, but I do apologize to you. I hope you know I would never actually plot somebody's demise. I probably should not have joked about that. What if y'all think I actually am? I'm sorry. That's why me and Catherine missed out on our man. That's why me and Catherine missed out on our man, because of stuff like that. And that's why we wanted someone else to be unhappy, because we missed out on our chance tonight. So stop overthinking. Listen, overthinking is what I do. Hey, Abby. Hello, Abby. My arms aren't so big anymore. I'm losing a little bit of weight. I forgot you were married in real life. Not me forgetting that you were married in real life. Ciao. Never mind. Let me go back to causing chaos. We be opening our mouths too much. Baby, listen, especially me. Because I'm telling y'all, it's something about them 30s. When you hit them 30s, it's like the hormones just go. And it's like... it be some fine people that follow me, child. And it's like every now and again I'll see them and I'm like, oh my God, this person is fine. So I be trying not to cut up too bad, but it hurts me sometimes to think. I know we've talked about this before, and I know I'm oversharing with y'all, but I don't mind sharing with y'all. I want to be that person one day. Just once in my life. Like, I just want to be the person that someone looks at and they're just like, oh, he is fine. Just once. It don't have to be an ongoing thing. I don't want attention like that. I just one time in my life, I want someone to just be like taken with me. You know what I mean? Like, you know how you like look at somebody and it's like you're like you can't even form words because they're just like that fine to you or that beautiful or that whatever. Like, I just want to be that one time. I don't want it every day. I don't want like that to be how people see me. Just one time. Just once. Just once. And then I feel so guilty about feeling that because I feel like I'm like desperate or something, or like it makes me feel like I'm begging for that or something like that. But like, just one time. I'm not saying that I want to be like just the perfect epitome of whatever, but just one time I want to be with that person. You know, I just want someone to look at me like that and just be like, not even like I gotta have him, but just like look at me and be like, you know? Anyway, child. Anyway, not me up here oversharing again. But yeah, I just want to be somebody's moon and stars. Anyway. Hey, Bree. Bree, you know what's funny about you saying that is someone does feel that way. You don't know it. I don't know about to feel that way about me. Someone will look at you like that when you start to fully accept all parts of yourself. Maybe that is true. That is true. The interesting thing about Bree saying that, and I remember I used to have such a hard time. Like, I try not to say things like when someone shares something like that and be like, but you're so beautiful. And, you know, how do you... Because what it took me a long time to deal with was, like, self-perception. And I look at Bree, and Bree is one of the most gorgeous people that I've ever seen. Like, she is beautiful. And, like, if I wasn't part of the Rainbow Collection, God's Rainbow Collection, I'd be like... What's up, little mama? I'd be like, what's up, little mama? What you doing? You want to go out this weekend? You know what I mean? Like, and it's so interesting. It's so interesting to see someone that I perceive as being that beautiful struggle with that kind of thing. And struggle with those feelings. Because I remember I used to think like everything in my mind would come back to if I just looked a different way. Like, even now, I find myself being like, I feel like my videos would do better if I didn't look the way I do. Or things would be different if I looked better. Or if I just looked. And it's interesting when I see someone that is beautiful like that and they feel like that, because it reminds me that we are still people and we feel things and we have different views of ourselves than other people do. And so I may perceive you as the most gorgeous person I've ever come across, and then you may look at yourself and wish you had something else going on. Wish you looked different. Thank you, Ray. Not Ray Charles. I was gonna make a joke about like Ray Charles giving a shot in the dark and just being like, yeah, you're beautiful. Okay. But anyway. Ray Charles can't even see. But you know, that's why I think it's so important for us to be nice to each other. Like truly, I think it's really important for us to be nice to each other for that reason. Like, you don't know how someone is perceiving themselves or what they're feeling. Like, you could see someone and they are just the happiest person that you've ever seen in your life. And then, excuse me, and then they go home. And when the cameras are off, or when they're not at work or not around their friends, 25K per. Y'all are eating. They're depressed. And maybe what they need is that one person that said something nice to them today. And it felt genuine. And I think that that's why sometimes people, I don't want to use the word hide. I think that's sometimes why people use like anonymous profiles, or they don't show their face or things like that, is because however they perceive themselves or however they think other people are going to perceive them, maybe they just want like someone to enjoy them, you know? Like, it might be a person who's constantly, because I have a friend who's really pretty, and she was the one who kind of made me see like people do treat you different when you're pretty, and that makes me think like someone that's really beautiful may have a profile where it's just like an anonymous one, because they don't want people to look at that. They want people to look at who they are. And then, you know, kind of vice versa, you know, someone like, I remember it was a very, very long time before I started making content, because I didn't want people to laugh at me. I didn't want people to talk about me. There is social capital on good looks, but your energy can surpass this. That is true. Hey Shantae. I remember I did make content for a long time because I didn't want people laughing at me. I didn't want people to laugh at my voice. I didn't want people to laugh at, you know, the way I looked, or, you know, laugh at this and that and da-da-da-da. I didn't want people to do that. And so I didn't make content for so long. And I think about all the people out there that are like me, but they never started that journey. You know, they never they never were able to just say, I'm just gonna do it, you know, which they don't have to. I'm not saying they should. I'm just saying just the way we perceive ourselves in life is why I think it's so important that we are nice to other people. Am I saying you gotta break your back to go out the way to lift up a car because somebody's phone fell under it? No. But just say hey. Even if you don't want to say hey, just keep walking. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you ain't gotta get on nobody's video or live or whatever and tell them how horrible they are and this and that. Like, girl, what is the point? What is the point? You know, this may be a video that someone put up and it was just something fun for them to do. And next thing you know, somebody telling them, oh, this was horrible. You got this in the background. You got that. You know what I mean? Like you don't know how you're saying can affect somebody. It just, I don't know. I don't know. And then Bree says somebody that's for you and you want to have your back. Yes. Yes. Like, I'm getting to a point where I'm trying to like picture myself in that. And I think I've told y'all this before. I could not imagine somebody genuinely being interested in me and being like, that's my man. Like, that seems so strange. That would seem like such a strange concept to me. For somebody to look at me and be like, that's mine and I'm going to stick beside him. Like, the concept of that is so strange to think about, that somebody would ever think that. And I'm trying to accept that it could be, you know, a reality one day. I'm trying to tell myself it could. Because they don't even seem feasible for me. For so many different reasons, but girl. Oop, no, I'm even gonna knock the phone down, child. But anyway, because I ain't gonna talk y'all's ear off about that. Child, I just be depressed about it later on. Just be depressed about it later on. Y'all can relate in some capacity. We're not alone. We are not alone. We have each other. And I'm very thankful for that. I'm very thankful that we have each other. And I'm very thankful that we can come here and we can laugh and we can talk. We can just kiki. Your person is out there. Yours is too, Brie. And I did not get a chance to see you when I was in Dallas. But hopefully towards maybe like the beginning of next month, I'll come back. And you know I got you, girl. You know I got you. I'm thinking I'll probably come back at the beginning of next month. And break up engagements, yes. What are you looking or hoping for? You know what, Brie? That's a great question. That I used to think that I knew the answer to. I feel like I used to think that I was like ready to get married, and I do want to get married. Like that is part of my hope. And have kids and things like that. But right now, I think I'm at a place where I realize that I still need to really, really like love on myself. Because I think sometimes I end up wanting someone to love me so that I can love myself. And so it's like, that was a hard thing for me to come to because, you know, in my mind, I'm beautiful, I'm perfect, I'm Linda Evangelista. And so I was like, there's no way I could want that because I know and I was like, no, I think that's part of it. I think I want someone, I think that I want someone to love me so that I will feel like I'm worth loving. Not even really realizing that it's the opposite way around. That I need to love me first, you know, before somebody else can. And so that was a very difficult thing for me to come to the conclusion of. And it's been even more difficult for me to figure out how to navigate through. Your boy can't afford therapy. So girl, I just be talking to myself and hoping for the best. You're in the growing pains of a rebirth. It definitely has been. It definitely has been. It has helped me to realize a lot about myself. A lot of what I'm capable of, but also just, I guess, just talk my way through things. I don't know. It's like when people ask me what my type is. I don't know the answer to that question. And like people will be like, no, you know what your type is. I'm like, baby, no, I kind of don't. Like I do, but I don't. Like, if you ask me what my type is, I do not have an answer to that question fully every single time. Like, I think at one point I did, but now I'm like, I don't know. Because it's been hard for me to think about like, oh, I want this kind of person. Because my brain kind of tells me that we got to take what we can get. Does that sound crazy? Like my brain will tell me like, we just got to take what we can get, baby. Beggars can't be choosers. And it's like I tell myself like, who do I think I am to have a type? So that's why when people ask me that, it's not like I'm trying to avoid it or whatever else. I genuinely do not know. Like, I don't have an answer to that question. So, child. Chile. Let me be quiet and hush, because I'm over talking. But anyway, that's why, like, talking about Charmed has brought me so much joy, is because I feel like it gives me something to focus on, and I feel like I'm good at it. You know what I mean? Like, I always used to think, like, I want to do something I'm good at, but what I'm good at, I can't do, because I'd always told myself, like, oh, I can't talk about Charm professionally. But, like, no, I know what I'm talking about. And, excuse me, I'm so sorry, y'all. I think that talking about it has helped me to, like, facilitate, like, comprehension skills for myself. It's given me the ability to, like, say, okay, I was wrong about that, and here we go with, I feel like it's helping me to, like, open myself up to learning new things. And I genuinely see ways that it has helped me to feel more confident about myself, in myself. And even my sister has commented on it. So it's like, it's been therapeutic, and I do think it is helping me grow as a person. You brought Catherine into my life, and I will forever be grateful. But y'all be grateful with each other down there in that lower room, because I won't be with you. So, love you. Love you to pieces. Love you to pieces. I'm going to be in the upper room. Y'all be in the lower room. But, but no, the fact that we were all able to come together, like the fact that we can come from different walks of life and meet each other and talk to each other and become friends and whatever else, like, that's amazing. I sent them there. Girl, I ain't sent nobody nowhere. Yeah, like, we like, likely we never would have met each other without being here. So it's like, girl, I love our community. I love us. I love who we are. I love what we represent. Even when Jerry be reading me to filth, I love Jerry. And even when Leia and Catherine be gaslighting me, love them. Blake. And so it's like, So yeah, like, even though I get gaslit, I still love y'all hussies. I get so. Oh, y'all, Jelly is Squeaky sister's cousin. Go follow Jelly. Hey, hi. Y'all go follow Jelly. She's so sweet. She's so sweet and so nice. And we stay in Squeaky sister over here, so we do. I just, how, like, I know we were talking about this earlier, but how you meet someone and you just, like, feel that connection with them. Like, I know I don't ever want to seem like I'm just, like, picking one person and just being like, oh, what? But I don't know. It's just something about her. She just, I don't know, like, Squeaky sister just, like, radiates something, and I don't know. It's like, just like y'all, she just helps keep me motivated. Like, there's something, I don't know. I just feel like God is, like, putting us in each other's lives, and, like, y'all motivate me to keep going. And even though I've been kind of whatever lately, I feel like I can do it. What it is that its own little thing. So, excuse me, my God. All this belching. So low class. Well, y'all, I think we're gonna go ahead and call it a night. Because you know, you know, you know, you know, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and call it a night, y'all. Today was fun. Today was amazing. Please feel free to reach out to my Patreon if you are not already subscribed or a member of it, and consider joining if you would like to and are financially able. Please subscribe to my YouTube. We will be having. You came in too late. We're gonna be here again. Don't worry about it. Please subscribe to my YouTube. We'll be going live on YouTube every Thursday. Group pick. I don't know. I look a little raggedy tonight. Oh yeah, we'll take one. Okay. All right, y'all ready? Smile. And I mean, you better smile right now. You better smile like your life depends on it. Get that look off your face and smile. There you go. Okay. 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 1, 2. Y'all ready? Okay. 1, 2. There we go. We got a good one. We got a good one. We got a good one. I realize I don't ever post these pictures. I don't know what. Tonight was fun. Thank you for being here, Flip. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. I remember you said that you don't usually stay on people's lives this long. So thank you. Thank you for staying with the coven. Please post them. Child, listen. If I remember, I will. If I remember, I'll send them to you or something. I don't know. In the group me. Yeah, Yeah, I'll do it in the group me. Well, good night, everybody. I hope y'all have a great night, a great evening, a great morning, wherever you are in the world. I hope you have a great something. I love all of you hussies. I hope you have a great whatever. And I'll see you later. Stay classy, San Diego.